fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
A stabbing in Decatur puts a man behind bars at the Morgan County Jail. The victim is injured but will survive the stabbing. Police ended up arresting Andrew Tucker after the altercation occurred at the State Lodge in Decatur. The Walker County Public Fishing Lake is preparing for a grand opening later this month. The 163-acre lake is now under new management, according to the Alabama Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. The park is not far from the town of Jasper and boasts a lake for fishing as well as canoes and kayaks, hiking trails nearby, an archery park, as well as public restrooms and a store. The opening is set for February 25th. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi, this is Sky Mosley for your hometown conservative newspaper, the Alabama Gazette. Published in beautiful downtown Montgomery, serving the river region and central Alabama proper for over 24 years, always under the banner of God, family, and country. You can find the Gazette at many fine business establishments throughout the area and an excellent value for your advertising dollar. The Gazette provides you with a ready-made audience that shares your values, beliefs, and principles. Give them a call, 356-6700. Advertising with the Alabama Gazette is surprisingly affordable and extremely effective. 356-6700, the Alabama Gazette. Honest, informative, trustworthy, your conservative alternative newspaper. Real local news from real local people. The Alabama Gazette, they are most worthy of your support. Pro-life, pro-family, pro-America. 356-6700, give them a call. The Alabama Gazette, the people's paper.
Conservative Justice Sarah Stewart has the experience to lead Alabama's courts. As a tough-on-crime judge, Sarah Stewart presided over hundreds of cases, giving tough sentences to the worst criminals. Republicans can trust Justice Sarah Stewart to defend the Constitution and protect our families. On March 5th, vote conservative Republican Sarah Stewart for Alabama Chief Justice. Paid for by Sarah Stewart Campaign, 2029B, Airport Boulevard, Mobile, Alabama, 36606.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
We never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
What the hell are we doing here?
We are behaving the way a superpower ought to behave.
Well, our behavior has produced some crappy results.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
I got word.
I got hairy legs.
This afternoon we've seen a whole lot of table banging.
Can you get a cough, please?
I'm also very much of a germaphobe, by the way.
In those days, you used to remember the straight race. You'd bang them on the curb, get them rusty, put them in a rain barrel, get them rusty.
You know, they used to say Abraham Lincoln got the worst press. I said, there's no way he got worse than me. But Lincoln was first.
Thank you, Dr. Pepper, and thank you, Chancellor, or Dr. Paper, and thank you, Chancellor.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views. In the afternoon, I'm feeling better, good enough to do a show. Eddie's in the house. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm doing good, buddy.
Good to hear. And as is tradition, kicking off Tuesdays, the one, the only Judge Andrew Napolitano is on the stream with me. Judge, how are you this afternoon?
I'm well, Joey. How are you? Were you under the weather?
Just a bit. Friday going in, real bad Saturday, Sunday. Had to take yesterday off, but I'm feeling better now.
Oh, good. You give every appearance of your normal, happy, charming, intelligent self.
We need to hang out more. I don't know if happy is the word. The other several I'll take, but man, there's so much to get to today. Let's start with the breaking news with the D.C. Circuit Court's opinion about Trump's immunity. What's the long and short of this?
Well, the long and short is that a three-judge panel of the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit upheld unanimously the decision of the trial judge in Trump's January 6 case that former presidents do not enjoy the immunity from criminal prosecution after they leave office that they enjoy while they are in office. I mean, that's the bottom line, that on noon of January 20th, 2021, when President Trump became Citizen Trump, the immunity left him. There's a lot of history there in the opinion. It's 57 pages. It's unanimous. Much of it addresses Trump's arguments in order to provide guidance to the trial judge and to the legal community as to what the law is. But the bottom line is that the trial against Donald Trump can proceed unless interfered with by the Supreme Court. My guess is that Trump will appeal to the entire District of Columbia Circuit Court, which consists of 11 judges. Only 3 ruled on this. They sit on panels of 3. There is a procedure to appeal the decision of a panel to all the other judges. I don't think the court will hear that appeal. Trump can then appeal to the Supreme Court. I don't think they'll hear the appeal either. This is a very sound reason. It doesn't change the law. It reinforces what the law has been. And I think the courts are going to be of the view that it's time for this trial to take place and let a jury decide whether what Trump did was criminal or not.
Well, and does this more suggest on Trump's and his legal team's part a delay tactic, that the name of the game here is to delay as close as possible to the election?
I think it's obvious if they proceed with these appeals that that's what they want to do. I think their view is that if this trial doesn't take place until after the election, it'll never take place if he wins.
Right.
Because he'll direct the DOJ to stop prosecuting him. Never happened before in history, but he will have the ability to do that. His new attorney general will go before the court and move to drop the case. I'm sure that that's what he's trying to do, and the government's trying to do the opposite. They're trying to get a trial and a conviction before Election Day so that the public, I'll put it in a light most favorable to the government, the public will know more about candidate Trump after the trial than it does before.
Well, and a lot of the right-wing sites rags that I read to prepare for this show are pumping up and continue to pump up the Ed Meese argument that's being made that the appointment of Jack Smith as special counsel from the get-go was wrong and it's unconstitutional, shouldn't have happened. Have you seen this argument? What do you think of it?
I think the argument is nonsense, and so did the 3-judge panel that ruled today. Now, they didn't dismiss it on the merits. They dismissed it because it wasn't made below. You know, you can only hear an appeal of a decision below. And since this Ed Meese argument, and he should know better, you can't raise something new on appeal. He's not only a lawyer, he's the former Attorney General of the United States. I have known him for many years, so this is hardly a personal criticism. Why that argument is being made now is beyond me. It should have been made before anything happened in the trial court to the trial court, but it's too little too late. Calling Jack Smith a special counsel is just a formality. You can call him special counsel, you can call him assistant U.S. attorney, which is what he was when they named him special counsel. This is a form over substance, and I can't imagine it going anywhere, but it can't go anywhere now. It's been dismissed by this court as improperly raised in an appellate context.
Well, and we'll see as this continues. It will be one of the big stories leading into this election. Again, folks, we're talking to Judge Andrew Napolitano. You can always go to judgenap.com or just search for his podcast wherever you listen or watch podcasts. Judging Freedom is the name of that show. The appearance of Colonel McGregor yesterday, even over the phone, was fantastic. So thank you for that interview.
He had 235,000 views from a phone call in an airport on the run yesterday. Last week, we had 2.1 million views in a week. So I'm I'm really blessed with these numbers. Those unfamiliar with where they stand, let's just say there are some television networks that are looking up at those numbers, not down at them.
And I also have to say, without giving anything away, I know you were weighing options there a few years ago, and what you built is quite impressive. So keep on doing it. Again, folks, Judging Freedom is the podcast. You don't want to miss it. Before we get to our op-eds and this continuing saga of surveillance and spying by the federal government, and unconstitutionally so, question just came to mind because in the news is this, I think, monstrosity of a deal put together by Schumer and Biden and McConnell. And I guess James Langford of Oklahoma is getting a lot of incoming, as well as Senator Sinema of Arizona. But my question is more abstract. If we think about the Madisonian system the founder set up and Madison himself conceived of, did they imagine legislating would go down in the way we see it today, kind of last second? Or is this sort of a few people meet in a back room and then the entire body has a few days, if not hours, to vote? Is that true to the Madisonian constitutional government?
Well, the Madisonian constitutional government reposes into the hands of the federal. You're talking about this potential deal for giving the president more authority at the border, giving $68 billion or $61 billion to Ukraine, and another $14 billion to Israel.
Correct.
I'll start with the first issue. The Madisonian form of government is articulated in the Constitution, which he wrote. And which gives to the federal government authority over naturalization, who becomes a citizen, but retains to the states, Governor Abbott, authority for immigration, who enters those states. In an 1886 case, citing no authority whatsoever, the Supreme Court said, oh, well, all countries can control their borders. Therefore, the U.S. can control its, forgetting that we are a union of states and our central government, unlike the central government of all other countries, is one of limited powers, limited to those articulated in the Constitution. It wouldn't surprise me if my friend Justice Gorsuch goes back to this when one of these cases makes its way to the Supreme Court. I mean, stated differently, we just take for granted that this is a federal issue. The last time the Supreme Court looked at this was to invalidate Arizona's efforts to make it a crime to enter Arizona illegally, and the Supreme Court invalidated it, saying, no, it's up to the feds. The new legislation, and I'm not a fan of the new legislation because I'm not a fan of this money for Ukraine or Israel, but the new legislation gives the president power that he doesn't have now. Right now, the president cannot reject bona fide asylum seekers, not people just looking for a better life, but people escaping repression for one reason or another. This legislation gives the president, any president, authority to reject asylum seekers when the border is being overwhelmed. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, they all wish that they had this authority. To that extent, if you believe in the government controlling borders, there's a lot of libertarians who believe you have the natural right to travel, and the government can't tell you that you can't go visit your cousin's house, for example. But if you believe that the government control the borders, and if you believe the federal government can control the borders, this is more power than any president has ever had. Doesn't look like it's going to pass in the House. The Republicans in the House would rather save this for the Trump years, which they see coming.
Now, let's go to your op-ed that came out last Thursday. And this, I guess, was broke by Senator Wyden about the NSA and other parts of, the intelligence community buying up internet information, just information on everyday people. Is this what I think it is, kind of the continuation of this just obliteration of the Fourth Amendment?
It is. It's another way around the Fourth Amendment. It's a bit of a head scratcher because we know, and you wrote a great piece, Joey, about Edward Snowden. We know from the Snowden revelations and from other information that has come out since those revelations. I mean, those revelations are about 10 years ago by now. You would know the dates better than I. that the NSA captures every keystroke. I'm holding up my iPhone, and every mobile device and every desktop. Even that which you think you've deleted, they can obtain. So it's a head scratcher as to why they would want to buy copies or raw data of digital information passed over fiber optic cables. Well, they're buying it and they're selling it. They're buying it from big tech and selling it to the FBI, because the FBI says, oh, no, we're not using this to prosecute people. We're not violating the Fourth Amendment. We're using this to predict crime. Predict crime. Okay, let's see. When we were colonists and the British Parliament enacted the Stamp Act, which required you to have a stamp on every piece of paper in your house, British agents broke down doors, ostensibly looking for stamps. What they really were looking for was revolutionary material to predict crime, to predict who was going to engage in an insurrection against the king. After we fought the revolution and won the revolution and wrote the Constitution, we added the Fourth Amendment to protect this type of behavior and prevent the government from breaking down doors, not literally, but digitally, to predict crime. This is not the job of the government to predict crime. It's to prosecute certain specific crimes. It's another example of the cavalier attitude that the executive branch, the NSAs of the military that works for the president, takes about the Fourth Amendment. It's also the cavalier attitude that Congress takes. Congress is terrified of the intelligence community because of what it knows about individual members of Congress. Congress could easily insert language in appropriation bills. None of these funds shall be used for the following purposes. They just list those purposes. The President of the United States could rescind Executive Order 12333, a misguided Ronald Reagan executive order with ambiguous language in there that Reagan could never imagine how it was being used, but it is used by the intelligence community to spy on everyone all the time. And it is a basis for this nonsensical argument that the Fourth Amendment only regulates law enforcement. It doesn't regulate intelligence. Read it. It regulates all of government, whatever they call themselves.
And on the question of Snowden, because he really woke me up politically, those leaks are massive. I mean, do you find it's an indictment of our government and our nation in a way that this, who I think is an American hero, is stuck in Moscow, wants to be back in America, wants to raise his children, his 2 kids now as Americans, but he's stuck in Moscow?
Well, he's stuck in Moscow because the Trump administration obtained an indictment under the Espionage Act, a very misguided 1917 World War I Woodrow Wilson era law that was used to suppress free speech. And he knows he can't get a fair trial, and he knows the minute he sets foot in the United States, he'll be locked up for the rest of his life. So you can't blame him for being in Moscow. I've said this publicly before, and I don't take any credit for this, but I did my best to persuade President Trump at the very end of his presidency to pardon Snowden, and I honestly thought he was going to do it. I agreed not to say anything on air. In those days, I was on Fox every day. I think he was being honest with me, but I think others changed his mind after he got off the phone call with me.
Well, and what you said, I don't want to pass over, and I know you got to go here in a second. You said that there are members of Congress that don't want to change the rules, and maybe even presidents, but you said members of Congress because the intelligence community has information on them that's personal?
It has dirt on them. Absolutely. Absolutely, the intelligence community does. The late Justice Scalia told me that the NSA was spying on the Supreme Court, and that he and his colleagues knew that. Does the NSA spy on the person they work for, the president? Answer, yes. So this is really, really spying utterly, totally out of control with no regard for the Constitution whatsoever. And it only gets worse. This revelation by Senator Wyden, and I both commend him and criticize him. I commend him for revealing it. I criticize him for not doing anything about what he revealed. Now, he's only one of 100 senators, and the majority of the Senate, just like the majority of the House, is terrified to take on the intelligence community. Well, if you're that terrified, get another job. I want people down there that are not afraid of the government we've hired and that can tame it and keep it within that box known as the Constitution.
Well, Judge, I appreciate your time as always. We keep making this case that look at how unconstitutional, how illegitimate the government is in that regard. Hopefully more and more folks will continue to listen so we can make a change. But I appreciate your time as always. And until next week, God bless, sir.
You got it, my man. All the best to you.
Again, folks, that's Judge Andrew Napolitano. Always fantastic having him on the program. Eddie, how you doing today?
Doing good, buddy. Doing good. Had a great weekend.
Yeah, a good one?
Yeah, great weekend with the kids. And
where'd you go?
Went up to Tennessee, Pigeon Forge, and that whole tourist trap up there, which is beautiful, by the way. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just like someone scooped up Panama City and put it between a couple mountain ranges. I mean, even the surf style gift shops, they don't say surf style, but it's the same building.
Yeah, all the same stuff.
It's the same building.
Yeah.
But we had a great time, man. Absolutely great time.
Do they still do those, like, sprayed, like, shirts, like the stencil shirts?
Oh, the airbrush?
Airbrush, yeah.
I know it's big, shocker, Walmart, Panama City Beach, but I'm not sure. I didn't.
Is that a white folks thing?
That is, well,
it's kind of becoming an everybody thing.
It's kind of becoming
I think it's a Southern thing.
Definitely a Southern thing.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a Southern thing.
Should we get matching airbrush shirts?
Well, I don't know if I told you. I think I did. You know, back when I was young and really dumb and thought I was in love when I was like 12, me and a girl got a shirt and hers said master and mine said slave.
And on that disturbing note, we have to hit this break. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Hey there, River Region area. Dawson Electric hopes you had an amazing Christmas and a fantastic New Year. As we step into 2024, it's time to tackle those resolutions and make sure your home or business is in tip-top shape. And for all your electrical needs, there's one name you can trust, Dawson Electric. Whether you're planning a remodel, constructing a new home, or require service for your existing electrical systems, Dawson Electric has got you covered. Need emergency generators installed? Looking to enhance your outdoor space with stunning landscape lighting? Dawson Electric is the answer. We do it all for homes and commercial spaces alike. For more information, you can find us on Facebook. Search for Dawson Electric Company, LLC. Hit the like button and stay connected with us. We're happy to speak with you at any time. Just call 334-270-8024. Say it with me. That's 334-270-8024. For all your electrical service needs for home or business, call us at Dawson Electric. Dawson Electric, lighting up your world.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-848-1331. That's 800-848-1331.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower use for adults only.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Good to be back in the saddle, powering through. I'll have to admit, I don't think I'm still 100% yet, but
of course not.
Getting there.
It'll take you a couple days to get all your strength back.
Of course. So, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health, folks. And hey, fellas, there are two things that affect men the most as we mature. Would that be, Eddie? Erectile dysfunction?
Erectile dysfunction is darn sure one of them.
Low testosterone is another one.
Testosterone is a big one.
And it's nothing to deny, put off, be ashamed about. Don't be embarrassed. And it's not something to wait to get fixed. Yeah, I know guys hate going to the doctor. I do too. But Montgomery Men's Health was created to take care of guys just like us. So if you're lacking motivation, energy, always tired, perhaps you're seeing unwanted weight gain and loss of muscle mass, even a decrease in that sex drive of yours.
That ain't no good.
Or maybe you just feel like you're walking through life in a fog. Knowing whether you have low testosterone is huge in combating some of these issues.
Yep.
Did you know that as you age, a testosterone and PSA check should be a part of your annual men's health routine?
I learned that after I went there, Joey.
Yeah, and they even said urologists are now suggesting men get that, testosterone check at the age 18.
That's right.
Just started early. And so the providers at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And Montgomery Men's Health has low-T treatments that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym.
Brother.
That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido.
Nothing wrong with that.
You can actually book the same day that you call, fellas. Guys, it's time to feel amazing and hit your goals this year. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Now, as we were talking to Judge Knapp, there are plenty of other things to get into. Voters are heading to the polls for Nevada presidential primaries without Trump on the ballot.
Yeah.
But the Nevada GOP is to hold their own separate caucus on Thursday. Well, Nikki Haley continues to pretend like she's actually got a shot other than by some dirty scheme through lawfare. And if Trump gets knocked out, I'm not going with Nikki Haley. Sorry.
I don't think very many people are, but how sad do you have to be that you are running for the highest office in this land and you're hoping that the guy that's going to beat the crap out of you falls down?
And if the RNC gets behind Nikki,
guaranteed, Joey.
If Trump is knocked out through this lawfare,
yep,
you deserve to lose. I'm not voting for you.
Yep. Now, do you think Ronnie D's going to jump back in?
He might. I'm sure a few others might jump in. RFK Jr. making waves. He's continuing to get more
traction,
press.
Baby.
Did you see that video of him catching a rattlesnake with his bare hands? Now, apparently I have some second cousins, like more my dad's age.
Yeah.
They used to do that stuff in Andalusia, and I always thought it was
rattlesnake rodeo down that way.
I always thought it was nuts.
Yeah.
No, man. But then somebody commented, I think it was Michael Malice, saying, "What? This is how you're RFK shared the video saying this is how I'll handle the swamp." Malice is like, "What? You'll pick up deadly predators and then set them free?" There's still part of me that doesn't want to fully go with RFK Jr.
Nobody's going to be perfect, though, Joey.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. He's continuing to make waves, though.
And no doubt, he's a man, baby.
And then
he's catching snakes with his bare hand. That's grown-ass man material.
Man, baby, indeed. Now, Toby Keith passed away.
Yes, dude, I woke up to that this morning.
Stomach cancer, 62 years old.
I don't think it was a surprise. Everybody that's kind of seen what's going on and seen the
Yeah.
dramatic change.
Well, that's just a shame.
that
That's
hurt.
too young.
Yeah, that hurt.
And I know how it is, folks. It's tragic, but, what a life, too.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. You got to remember the good of it.
That's right.
Also, another cancer diagnosis. The man's still alive, but it's King Charles III.
Yeah, I saw where one of his sons is flying home to be with him.
Right. Well, is it now just a joke? Say, long live the king?
At this point, I believe it is a little bit of satire to it.
Yeah, and so you might have a brand new king before too long. That's a shame to see.
Yeah.
But King Charles III now.
It kind of surprised. It must be, to me, the way I see it, it must be pretty bad for them to make the announcement.
Right,
Because
exactly.
they usually keep this stuff very private.
Exactly right. And talk about bringing people together. We opened up a can of whoop-ass at Yorktown so we didn't have to care about things like, cosplay monarchy.
Right.
They're like royal Kardashians essentially over there.
I kind of like, honestly, I kind of like the Kardashians a little better.
Yeah.
I really do.
But that's about as much power as they have.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Though technically, King Charles III is still the head of the church and of the armed forces there
And
in England.
the Queen owns every swan in England. Don't forget that.
Right. Yeah, the crowns, stuff. Don't mess with that stuff. But we're seeing people brought together, both Biden and Trump, sending best wishes and prayers.
Yeah, but what about
the
Biden
King's way?
Saying that he rented someone that's been dead since the 60s.
Oh, yeah. You saw that.
How did I not see that?
Sloppy Joe. Sloppy
I'm hoping,
Joe.
I was like, maybe he got a name confused or something. But no, I think he's doubling down.
Yeah, what did he say here? He said, I met with Mitterrand or something like that. Well, Mitterrand ain't alive anymore. Like, I think Mitterrand was around, in the 80s?
That's the last time I remember hearing his name.
Here's actually the clip. Let's back it up. This is very confused Joe. And they're doing this thing now when he's on a campaign stop.
Yeah.
Where they have this stark, beams of light behind him. And
oh, I noticed that.
Yeah, but this, I'm with Judge Knapp. I don't believe this guy's going to be the nominee for president.
I'm with you.
Listen to this.
People have pled guilty. Right after I was elected, I went to what they call a G7 meeting, all the NATO leaders. I was in the south of England. And I sat down and I said, America's back. And Mitterrand from France looked at me and said,
follow the light.
Why, how long are you back for? And I looked at him, and the Chancellor of Germany said, what would you say, Mr. President, if you picked up the paper tomorrow in the London Times, and the London Times said...
I just can't with this guy.
Thank you.
But he said Mitterrand from Germany, I mean France. Mitterrand died in 1996, Joe.
96, okay.
He died in 1996. He wasn't around to have that meeting with you. And this whole, I meet with these Europeans and they wonder and they worry if Trump gets back in there. You're seriously telling me that those folks running the European governments have confidence in this guy? In Joe Biden?
I don't see it.
Maybe they have confidence in the oligarchy that's propping up Joe Biden. Maybe they have confidence in the American administrative state to a degree.
I don't think it's that. I think they don't want to be, many of them have the fear of Trump ever coming back in again. I think even some reporters have been caught hot mic'd on, oh my God, if he comes back in, he's going to come after me. He's going to come after us.
Good. Y'all should be scared.
Exactly. I want them to be scared. The people I really want to be scared the most, though, are the people surrounding Biden right now. Those are the true criminals, folks. Biden is just a schmoo. He don't know what day it is. Let's all be honest. We know that. We need to hold accountable the people that are around him, putting him out there. One of them being his wife. Tar and feathers, man.
So that's kind of your update on the shape of the presidential political race. It's going to be Trump and then Trump again, and Trump's going to win the nomination and all this. Again, I don't know what Nikki Haley's exactly up to. I'd like to know who her drug dealer is, though, because that broad is high on something. And I could use that right about now, at least to get through all this stupid presidential politicking. Coming up, we're going to break down, and hat tip to both are senators in the entire Alabama delegation there in the House of Representatives, but
Right.
both Senator Tuberville and Senator Britt coming out against this steaming pile of crap.
Yeah.
That is this negotiated secret immigration/Ukraine/Israel
Who
bill.
negotiated this thing for you, Joey?
We shouldn't spend a dime on any of it.
Thank you.
We don't have the money.
Yep.
Shouldn't spend a daggum dime. But this is how, probably one of the oldest triumvirates in history, Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, and Joe Biden.
They're just giving away our money.
Getting the band back together to spend more of other people's money and not solve any problems that the American people actually care about.
Right.
Crying shame, man. It's a freaking crying shame. This is part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy or sell here in the Montgomery or surrounding areas. And the Goodson Group, not only can they help you buy or sell, they also have management services available should you want to rent out your home. And the Goodson Group is also home with the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed and accredited real estate school programs in the state of Alabama because, well, it's a very interactive course. You learn from that 40-plus years of experience Bo has, and it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. He's been through it all, and you can learn from those real-life scenarios. So check out the Goodson Group today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson of the Goodson Group. Great sponsor here of News and Views in the afternoon.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For many years, my team and I have worked diligently to provide our veterans with top-notch service, as it is our honor to serve those who have served us in the armed forces. Madeline and I are certified veteran lending specialists. Nationwide, there are over 22 million veterans that qualify to purchase a home through the VA loan program. Yet less than 2 million of them currently have a VA home loan. Many lenders do not keep up with the ever-changing guidelines and benefits of the VA loan program. They are intimidated by the program, resulting in many veterans not obtaining VA loans. This is unacceptable. The VA home loan program offers service members and veterans with 100% financing. You've already paid your down payment. If you are currently serving or have honorably discharged, we would love an opportunity to discuss how the VA program can serve you. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223 or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Thank you for your service. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey guys, are you looking for a professional and reliable tree service company in the Montgomery and surrounding areas? Well, check out the folks at Tree Masters. It's a name you know and trust. From pruning to full tree removal, they'll even help you remove your shrubs. They service all of central Alabama, including Lake Martin and Lake Jordan. Call them for a free quote today at 334-676-3638. That's 334-676-3638. Tree Masters.
Ben here with Just Blinds in Prattville, your trusted source for all things quality and beauty when it comes to window treatments for your home and business. We want to thank our good friends at Blue Water Broadcasting for helping us get our message across to the thousands of Blue Water listeners. Not a day goes by we don't have someone tell us they heard about Just Blinds on Blue Water stations. Radio advertising is a key part of our advertising mix, and we absolutely encourage any business looking to grow to give Blue Water a call.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Following yesterday's sell-off, Wall Street was modestly higher at mid-morning. The market was rattled by Fed Chairman Powell's suggestion that the Fed is in no hurry to cut interest rates. The financial markets have been hoping that an interest rate cut would be imminent. Honda is recalling over 750,000 vehicles in the U.S. A faulty sensor could cause the front passenger airbags to inflate when they're not supposed to. The recall covers much of the Honda and Acura model lineup from 2020 to 2022. A popular diabetes treatment pushed Eli Lilly past fourth quarter expectations, and the drug maker expects 2024 to turn out largely better than expected as well as new products build momentum. Shares of EV maker Tesla continue to slide, falling more than 2% in pre-market. Streaming music and podcast platform Spotify jumped more than 6%. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm. They want you to stay safe on the road. Please don't text and drive. Get to your destination safely. Your family and friends will thank you. From the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
We've got a pretty acceptable forecast for early February, with today's high temperature up to about 64. There should be a good bit of sunshine. Clear skies, chilly tonight, but no freeze. The overnight low temperature down to about 37. We'll be in the low 60s on Wednesday, low to mid 60s on Thursday, and edging closer to 70 on Friday. Still dry weather right on through Friday, until perhaps Friday night when some scattered showers come in, and then showers and thunderstorms become more likely over the weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey, he's Eddie.
How you doing, Joey?
I'm actually hanging in there. Still not 100%, but we got to power through.
That's right. That's what we do.
And coming up, one of our favorites, Peter St. Onge, breaking down the steaming pile of crap.
Hope he's got a shovel.
That is this border/Ukraine/Israel bill. Oh. Just yes, but first let's go to Clint.
Okay.
Hey, Clint, how you doing?
Hey, Clint. Good to hear your voice, brother.
Yeah, guys. How you guys doing? And what is going on in the state of Alabama?
Well, the legislative session starts today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So hide your wives.
Yeah, hide your wallet. Hide your liquor.
Hide your daughter.
No, I ain't got to worry. I'm in Texas now. I'm not in Alabama. So.
Well, I got a feeling you're still going to feel some of it, Clint.
Probably. Do you think? What we got going on in this country now, man, it's pitiful.
Yes, sir.
And I tell you what, you may not hear, but Governor Abbott here in Texas, he finally got some gonads.
I saw that.
And this past week, they caught 3 immigrants. 3. They're all going to Arizona and California. He done shut this border down. Yeah.
At least that part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the help from the governor of South Dakota and the governor of great state of Florida, DeSantis. You know, that man sent 1,000 National Guard units to here. Yeah, DeSantis did.
I'm glad he did.
Awesome.
I kind of wish everybody would.
I don't know. Governor, your governor there, maybe she should have sent a few.
No, they've been sent. They were sent a year or two ago.
Yeah.
1,000?
No, more like 200, 300, I think.
Yeah, but that back then they didn't do no good. So now it's doing great good. So everything's well so far. So
yeah, buddy.
All right.
Well,
How's
good to hear from
Mr.
you,
Dan
Clint.
Morris doing?
I think he's doing all right, Clint.
Well, you haven't talked to him? He
No, it's
checked
been a
in?
little while. It's been a little
Been a
while.
while, yeah.
Okay. Well, I wish him well and his family.
Amen.
And you guys, too, wish you and your family Godspeed to you guys.
Godspeed, Clint. Thank you, sir.
Later.
See you, bud.
272-9228. Good old call from Clint from Texas.
Texas, man.
He used to be in Alabama here, but now I think he's mostly spending time in Texas. So.
Yep. I think he picked up and moved to Texas.
Always good to hear from Clint there. But again, I have to say thank you to the entire Alabama congressional delegation.
Oh, yeah?
They're all slamming this $118 billion border bill that allows 5,000 illegal crossings per day, sends more aid to Ukraine and Israel. But Coach Tuberville, I believe, was the first out with a very strong statement. He said, quote, "I can't believe this is the border security bill that's been negotiated."
Right.
This bill destroys American sovereignty. It will weaken immigration laws for decades and handcuff the next president that actually wants to secure our borders and defend our country. This bill has been crafted to solidify the invasion of illegals into the United States of America. I'm an immovable no. Wow. And no in all caps there, Eddie.
Well, who negotiated this? I mean, I've heard that this negotiation's been going on behind doors, but now that the bill's come out, I haven't heard one Republican say this is anything but garbage.
I think this was truly shepherded by Biden, Schumer, and McConnell. They're the true puppet masters behind the scenes, if you want to believe those old men are still in charge. But
they're still doing it.
Right. But apparently the face of the younger generation that was trying to negotiate this in a bipartisan way. Just such nonsense. James Langford of Oklahoma, creepy looking redheaded dude. And Sinema of Arizona.
That doesn't surprise me.
The senator continues to look more and more like a saucy anime character by the day. Glad they brought back the dress code and decorum there in the Senate.
Man.
But I think they got rid of that because Susan Collins threatened them. If you don't bring back decorum, I'm going to wear a bikini to the floor. No, don't do it, Susan. Don't do it.
No reason for all that.
But those are the folks who, kind of worked this thing behind the scenes for months. Schumer really selling it hard, too, saying if we don't do this, you could have Americans fighting Russians when they invade a NATO country. And it's like, go F yourself, Chuck.
And that's been the same sorry speech that they put out for how long?
Right.
How long have they put it out? That just shows, again, how out of touch he is and how he does not need to be there any longer.
But it's not just Coach Tuberville. Also, U.S. Senator Katie Britt agreed, saying she is a no vote, saying, quote, at every step along the way, President Biden has made it clear that he doesn't want to end the border crisis. He wants to enable it, Britt stated on the X platform. I won't support this supplemental funding bill because it would not effectively stop President Biden from continuing his mass migration agenda. Mm-hmm. And based on what Senator Britt called in, just impromptu the other day about, she's continuing to hammer on Twitter, X, saying that we've gotten our job done on the Appropriations Committee. We have not moved one appropriations bill of the 12 for Chuck Schumer. We are working 3 days a week.
Right.
3. Really, it pretty much works out to about 48 hours a week, actually. Because it's not like you're working 24/7 on those days that you're working.
Right.
Yeah, so what a joke. And I appreciate Senator Britt saying this is not going to fly. But Jerry Carl jumping in saying the Senate border bill allows 5,000 immigrants a day. Robert Adderholt says the Senate
in a day?
border bill is DOA in the House. Gary Palmer coming out strong saying, hey, this ain't going to fly with me.
Do they have the votes to stop it?
They're not even going to bring it. Mike Johnson actually grew a pair.
That's a shocker.
And said, we're not even bringing this to the floor.
Happened overnight?
No, because it's absolute utter crap. And so to really bring this home for us, here is one of my favorites. He usually talks the economy.
Yeah.
But Peter St. Onge.
Lovely guy.
Let's listen to Peter St. Onge. His take on the Uniparty border sellout is what he's calling it.
The Washington Uniparty just crapped out a border deal that, as you would expect, puts America last. The deal trades more money for Ukraine and Israel in return for keeping our borders wide open and actually giving 1.5 million illegal border crossers amnesty while locking in green card giveaways through 2030, presumably in the expectation that they will become loyal socialist voters as previous waves of illegals have. The welfare warfare state in full effect with the added bonus of replacing Americans with a crop of brand new voters. If it worked for California, by gum, it can work for America. This little deuce was hatched by a handful of corrupt rhinos teaming up with socialist Democrats. As always, when you hear the word bipartisan in Washington, that means the corrupt Uniparty is coming for you. First, the specifics. It would spend $118 billion. For this, we would get legalization of 1.5 million illegals per year. That's 5,000 per day. The other 10 million plus illegals will presumably have to wait for another war, perhaps the one we are cooking up with Iran or over Taiwan. It hands $2.3 billion immediately to the non-government organizations that are making a mint importing welfare cases to every nook and cranny of America, because Democrats do know who brought them to the party. And then comes the payoff to Republicans. The bill plows over $93 billion into our rapidly expanding universe of wars. including $14 billion to Israel and another $5 billion for Hamas, or Gaza. Incidentally, just last week, Rand Paul was marveling how we somehow managed to fund both sides of wars. So there you go. Beyond Hamas, the sellout leaves no war behind, with $5 billion going to gin up a war with China. They're already moving weapons to Australia in preparation. And $2.3 billion for the Red Sea, which is used by European and Chinese ships, but not by American ships. Somehow, though, we must pay. Finally, a crisp $60 billion for Ukraine's lost cause, so Zelensky can continue sending the flower of Ukraine's youth to die in his pointless meat grinder. Of course, the left is still angry because having intentionally thrown open the southern border to human traffic 10 million political footballs, they wanted more amnesty so they could flip more states blue. Meanwhile, Republican voters, of course, once again feel betrayed by a party that will sell them down the river if it funds just one corrupt dictator and secures some cheap fruit pickers and manual labor for their corporate donors. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Joe Biden could fix immigration immediately with the stroke of a pen by simply reinstating Trump-era policies, including the so-called Remain in Mexico policy that required amnesty applicants to stay put until processed. Instead, his handlers are trying to milk their crisis to replace the current voters with a brand new crop, all while funding the army of non-government organizations that sustain their activist industrial complex. All with a GOP too corrupt to care so long as the donor checks keep flowing. Whether the Uniparty passes this turd sandwich or keeps kicking the can down the open border road, it's going to benefit Donald Trump in November, at which point all eyes turn to the margin of cheating to know whether there is light in that tunnel or whether we've got even darker days ahead. Okay, we'll be watching.
Again, Peter St. Onge, always love his breakdowns. He usually sticks just to economics, but I thought his breakdown of this crap sandwich, this deuce, as he calls it, was exactly what we needed to hear. Before we hit a very quick break, this part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And they're at Cole Plumbing, well, they can help you with all sorts of everyday plumbing needs, from a clogged drain to low water pressure. Maybe you've been on property for a while and that tree that you planted in the front yard's grown, and you're like, it's so beautiful. Look at the canopy over the front yard. Oh, wait. Is there a thing called tree root invasion?
There is a big thing called tree root invasion.
Right. And then, of course, Cole Plumbing can also help you with upgrading. Say you want a tankless water heater system. They can install that.
They sure can.
Maybe you're getting up there in age and you want a taller toilet so it's easier on the knees.
Very smart.
Trying to get your business done. Well, Cole Plumbing can help you there. And, of course, they have proprietary pipelining technology that allows them to solve big problems like burst pipes with minimal discomfort to you and your home. That means they're not going to have to tear out a bunch of drywall inside the house or tear up a huge hole or trench in the backyard. Again, they can find the problem with precision and expertise and solve it for you. Just that easy at Cole Plumbing. So give them a call at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Conservative Justice Sarah Stewart has the experience to lead Alabama's courts. As a tough-on-crime judge, Sarah Stewart presided over hundreds of cases, giving tough sentences to the worst criminals. Republicans can trust Justice Sarah Stewart to defend the Constitution and protect our families. On March 5th, vote conservative Republican Sarah Stewart for Alabama Chief Justice. Paid for by Sarah Stewart Campaign, 2029B, Airport Boulevard, Mobile, Alabama, 36606.
The River Region's first and only News Talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
I told y'all it was going to be a quick break. Welcome back. So what do we have coming up in the show, Eddie, especially around 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock, we have a special guest coming in.
I think we do have two special guests.
Two special guests, that's right.
One is an attorney in town named Mickey McDermott.
Right.
And the other is named Renee Helton. She is a former police officer here for the city of Montgomery, former MPD officer. She is the one who has put out very publicly now the accusation that there was sexual misconduct and then retaliation on the part of the chief of police here in Montgomery. I look forward to having that conversation, starting to understand a little more what happened here. Keep in mind that we're only getting one side of the story right now. but I want to continue to hear that side for the time being so we can understand just what the heck is going on when it comes to Montgomery, in particular to the police department. So like I said 2 weeks ago, I'm getting a lot of smoke thrown my way, and I'm hearing a lot of shade being thrown the way of leadership within the department. Is it true? Is it not? Well, we're going to have it out in public, and that continues in the 2 o'clock hour in particular. Look forward to talking to Renee Helton and Mickey McDermott. But we've got other things in the meantime to get to. A lot of strange things, in fact, Eddie.
Right.
For instance, did you see that AI has now figured out a way to unspool fossilized papyruses, like scrolls?
Yes. I didn't see that, but no.
This is a small town right outside, where Pompeii, where Vesuvius went off. Well, this is a little further away from Pompeii, but it was close enough to where all this ash and dirt and stuff, and essentially fossilized and crystallized everything in time that was in this one house of a very wealthy merchant. And there's all these scrolls, these papyruses that are just like, they look like soot.
It's like sealed shut.
And people have tried over time and failed to like unroll them. Every time they try this with the latest or oldest techniques, like they just fall to dust.
Apart, yeah.
So what's happened is this company, this one guy trying to figure out what these things are, they've created artificial intelligence programs that's able to take a scan and then figure out all the folds and meshing and how it's all, and essentially unspool it so you can read the text.
So cool.
And they're hoping to find thousands of classical works that were lost in history.
Well, see, something
Amazing
like that for
stuff.
AI, I'm a champion of. All of a sudden I become a champion of AI. But it's all the downsides that I'm always being told about and warned about.
Right. There was a state representative in Colorado who put forward a pet tax bill. Well, it was withdrawn pretty quickly after the backlash. Dumbass.
They actually used to have that back in medieval times. That's why you had a lot of dogs with no tails. You had a working dog. You did not pay tax on it because he's a working dog.
Well, and speaking of dogs, apparently thousands of dogs are being left behind starving at the U.S. border. Dad's salt in the wound. That's just miserable. And then I don't know if you saw this video, but Low T Center demands comedian take down joke making fun of clinic and lowest T move of all time. Yeah, he made a fake video in front of their center.
Oh, good
saying
Lord.
they kicked me out violently because my testosterone was too high. And
he broke the equipment.
And now they're getting on to him their lawyers contacted him saying you got to take the video down. And he just put them on blast. We'll play the video.
What if I don't?
Yeah.
I mean,
you're giving us bad name. That's not true. We didn't kick you out for having high testosterone. It's like y'all are some of the worst people. But we do have to hit this top of the hour break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. And hey, fellas, a certain day's coming up, Eddie.
Right around the corner, Bubba.
What day would that be?
That'd be the 14th. That would be Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day?
Valentine's
Day?
Howland Garden.
You John Madden?
I'm from Howland Garden. It's Valentine's Day. Would you be my Valentine?
Well, they have a Valentine's Day special there at Dillon Rings. Elevate your style with their exquisite couture diamond earrings. Now at an unbelievable, unbeatable 35 to 50% off.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Surprise your loved one with the ultimate symbol of elegance and luxury. But you got to hurry. This exclusive deal ends on Valentine's Day.
Sure does.
So got to hurry up, shop now, and make Valentine's Day unforgettable. Of course, you can go to Dillon Rings' Facebook page. Just go to the Book of Faces, type in Dillon Rings, or on Instagram, and you can see some of these amazing items on sale. In particular, these diamond earrings. They're absolutely tasteful, beautiful. Yes, elegance is the word, and I'm sure they have so much else there at Dillon Rings that is on sale, getting ready for Valentine's Day. And of course, they're a full-service jewelry shop. Great selection, a lot on sale, but they can also do cleanings, repairs, custom design. They can really do it all. So check out Dillon Rings today. You can always go to DillonRings.com. That's DillonRings.com, or give them a call at 215-3669. But I really encourage you to stop by that showroom, 119 Brown Springs Road, right here in Montgomery. Again, fellas, don't forget Valentine's Day. In fact, let Josh and Leslie Ryder help you in making that a very special Valentine's Day indeed.
More news and views in the afternoon after this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. In Pontiac, a jury has reached a verdict in the manslaughter trial of a Michigan school shooter's mother. Jennifer Crumley, charged with involuntary manslaughter. She's accused of failing to safely secure a gun at home and ignoring the mental health needs of her son. Ethan Crumley shot and killed 4 students at Oxford High School in 2021. The verdict has not been announced. Rainfall from one of the wettest storms in Southern California history is easing after Los Angeles was bombarded with nearly half of its seasonal rainfall in just 2 days. On Wall Street, stocks are drifting in mixed trading. GE Healthcare Technologies was one of the market's top stocks after reporting better profit than expected. The Dow ahead 59 points now, but the NASDAQ is 43 points in the red. This is SRN News.
The new FedNow system is paving the way for the digital dollar. It grants the government unprecedented access to your financial transactions. This isn't just an invasion of privacy. It's a direct assault on your liberty and hard-earned money. It's another reason why I recommend physical gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnow. I'm a news analyst and a podcaster with nearly 25 million downloads to people just like you who cherish their financial independence. A precious metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Big Brother while also preserving your retirement savings through almost anything, including economic crashes, political instability, and even hyperinflation. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text FAITH to 989898. Remember, there's no strings attached. Text FAITH to the number 989898 right now, and I pray you're blessed with continued prosperity.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPD will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather. We've got a pretty acceptable forecast for early February, with today's high temperature up to about 64. There should be a good bit of sunshine. Clear skies, chilly tonight, but no freeze. The overnight low temperature down to about 37. We'll be in the low 60s on Wednesday, low to mid 60s on Thursday, and edging closer to 70 on Friday. Still dry weather right on through Friday, until perhaps Friday night when some scattered showers come in, and then showers and thunderstorms become more likely over the weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations since we began in 1906. At CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. The Republican caucus of the Alabama House of Representatives released its Leadership That Works legislative platform Monday. Priorities include education, the economy, and ensuring honest elections in Alabama. The 2024 legislative session begins today in Montgomery. A juvenile male was stabbed just before midnight Monday in the 600 block of West Patton Avenue in Montgomery. Police arrested and charged 20-year-old Demarion Lyons with first-degree assault. The victim was taken to the hospital for treatment. His age was not released. During Monday's bail hearing, Montgomery Police Detective A.C. Patterson testified that defendants Nicholas Shepard and Nedvin Jones accidentally shot Michael Cole Jr. to death on January 25th. Cole was with Shepard and Jones plus 2 others shooting into a house on Gaston Avenue when Cole was accidentally shot in the back of the head. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. an equal housing lender.
Love is in the air and on the boat. The Harriet 2 riverboat, that is. Bring your special someone for a romantic evening and experience the elegance of cruising the Alabama River. Enjoy a delicious dinner while taking in the stunning sights. Dance the night away to the tunes that touch your soul, or just sit back and relax. Roses and champagne complete your lover's evening. You have 4 nights to choose from, February 14th, 15th, 16th, or 17th. Book your Valentine's cruise at funinmontgomery.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Again, as the big voice said, 272-9228 is the number. If you want to get in on the program, that's the number Biloxi Gambler dialed. Hello, Biloxi Gambler.
Hey, guys. Glad you're feeling better, Joey.
Yeah, me too.
We need to teach firearm safety in the schools. Starting like in junior high school, 7th grade. From then on, teach them handguns, everything. You know, that 16-year-old that, everybody felt bad about that was shot and they set his body on fire. Turns out he was with 4 other gang members and firing into a house because they were mad because the other teenager in that house, they think stole one of their guns. So they were shooting it up, and the back of his head got
Should pop up here in just a second. Here we go. We're back on the stream and whatnot, but what an absolute mess.
Power surge there somewhere. Saw it go through the building.
But yeah, I guess what he was saying is these kids, well, they're growing up way too fast if growing up's the word for it, or they feel like they gotta, live or die.
Yeah.
Live or let die at a very young age.
Well, at that point, I kind of think, from what most people know, don't think he was raised in the best household. I don't think a responsible parent will take better care of their kids. I want to know where my kids are all the time. Even Justin, my grown-ass adult kid, I'm probably the biggest pain in his butt because I'm always where are you at? What's going on?
Well, and I'm getting to the point here, Eddie, where I do not want to assume when I see kids killing kids, by accident or not, on purpose or not, when I see kids killing kids, there's a part of me that says, I don't think it's just the kids.
That's right. It's not.
There are some parents who, at best, are being negligent.
At best.
And looking the other way and dropping the ball. Oh, my baby would never do anything wrong, my baby. But you better believe, folks, and I don't know, on any of these given recent cases, I don't know all the personal details. I don't run these streets. I stay my ass home, as y'all know. But you got to know that it's worse than just negligence and naivete on the part of parents. There's some of these parents that are right there in the thick of these kids running around, usually these young boys running around.
Dude, as long as the government's going to give a woman money to have a child with no father in their life, this is what we're going to get. This is the experiment. This is the experiment they've done for how long? This is the road we're on. These are the results. Now, we're not changing anything, but these are results we're getting.
Yeah, it's just an absolute shame. Let's see if this is on line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, man, my cable went out, and the phone went out, and everything.
Everybody.
Yeah, power surge happened here too, but good to have you back.
Okay. Well, I was finishing because I wasn't just going to leave with that. I was just going to point out the law in the state of Alabama. If Eddie and I, if I'm up at his lake house, we drinking no Bush Lights. He says, "Let's go rob a bank," and of course, there's not enough money in a bank to rob. By the way, they ain't got enough cash. And but we go to a bank anyway, and we rob it. And then as we're leaving, Eddie stops off in the employee break room, and grabs a donut. And as he's eating the donut, they shoot and kill him, and I get away. All right, they didn't shoot him because they robbed the bank, because that money's going to turn blue out of the die pack anyway. So I'm not going to be able to spend it. They're going to catch me probably that same afternoon. True. But they shot Eddie because he ate the last donut. Is the reason.
Well, in that case, I kind of deserve the die.
Actually, if the bra fits,
Yeah.
That's right. So, but do you know in the state of Alabama, if I'm committing a felony with another person, which,
yes.
I don't, but and they die for whatever reason, maybe they touch a hot wire, or they fall through a roof, or they get shot, or whatever, I'm charged with their death.
Yes, you are.
I learned this. I remember producing the Dan Moore show, and it was that awful case where a bunch of young kids, teenagers, tried to break into this guy's house right off Woodmere. He was wise to it. As soon as they came through, broke through the door, he shot one of them right in the gut. And all the others were charged with, murder, because they're committing a felony, and one of their comrades died there.
Yep. So those idiots that accidentally shot their fellow gang member, they which I knew they were all in the same gang when I saw when they arrested them. They all got their hair did at the same place, and I said, "Yeah, okay, that's all hooked up there." But yeah, they're going to be charged with that. And when they catch the other two, they're going to be charged. All five, the other four, the survivors, are all going to be charged.
Man. Well, it's just, again, a crying shame that this is a reality for some young folks in this city.
Well, good thing I got a backup plug-in radio. So, because my stream went down, the internet went down. Anyway, all right, guys, I just wanted to put that in. I'm looking forward to 2 o'clock. That's going to be a very interesting discussion.
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
Love to hear Attorney McDermott speak. So it'll be a good one.
Good deal.
Appreciate it.
All right, talk to y'all later, man.
See you
Thanks.
later.
Bye.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And I said it that way because they've got something a little extra special. Because termite season's coming up, right?
Termite season's right around the corner. With all this moisture that we have coming, Joey, you know as well as I do, that just attracts more termites.
Exactly.
So one of the things that Ashley and her team have decided to do is right now, if you call them up, and you know their number better than I do, Joey, they will give you a free termite inspection and a free termite evaluation.
Wait, when you call 265-9990, they'll give you a free termite inspection. You got to ask.
If you do ask. Yeah. And this is the time of year to get it done because it is wintertime. So let's say their productivity is a little bit low, but you'll still see all the signs of termites. Now, another thing, if you have a crawl space that's very moist, that's just a big neon sign telling termites, come on in here.
Right.
We got all the moisture. So they might want to, or they might advise you to put a moisture barrier down. Again, this is something that Pest Pro Services can do.
Or maybe you just had a leak and you had like Cole Plumbing come out and fix
Joey.
it.
Yep.
And that's great. Thank you for using Cole Plumbing. But then you probably want to get Pest Pro out there because, again, that moisture attracts
them, man.
The termites. So, again, when you call 265-9990, you can get a free termite inspection and a free estimate.
Yep, just ask.
Just got to ask them. It's that simple. And they can help you with all those pest control problems there at Pest Pro Services. Don't just call for the termites. Make them your everyday pest control company. In fact, that's what you should do. Call them up, ask for the free termite inspection, see how easy it is to work with Pest Pro Services, and say, you know what? I want you guys making sure my home is jam up and jelly tight, as the song says, all year round.
That's right.
Again, 265-9990, or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas, those fools on the radio, sent you. But yeah, I was talking about before we hit the top of the hour break, this breakthrough with ancient Roman scrolls unlocked by AI. And so to imagine, think of like a scroll, folks, but it's like just looks as black as soot because it literally was consumed by essentially a volcano. Vesuvius going off.
Yeah.
So what it's able to do is digitize that charred scroll, examine all the nooks and crannies, how it's folded on itself, and then the AI is able to unspool it to where it's actually like a papyrus scroll you're looking at. And they've now created a contest where I think the winner, if you can get just 4 paragraphs, $700,000. So they're now getting academics in on prize.
Monetize it, baby.
Cash prizes. Yep. This could be a huge find because there's so much of antiquity, especially that Roman era, that is lost.
Yeah.
For instance, Epicurus was incredibly influential at that time, and we know that from certain sources, but we don't have all the details. Apparently, using this method, they have found more Epicurean philosophers, and it's more on everyday stuff. It's kind of like practical wisdom. It's like self-help, you would see. But they're hoping to find other big things that might have been thought lost to the sands of time, so to speak. So I thought that was fascinating and a good use of AI. But on the technology front, did you see now that everybody's got this new Apple Vision Pro headset?
I've seen some videos of the Apple Vision Pro headset.
Oh, that one guy was really enjoying it. He looked like he was crying a lot. There was Kleenexes all over.
Right.
It was like tissue paper all over his desk.
Yeah. I've seen that. And then I've seen other people, I guess, walking around the living room with it on, thinking they were in a different space and
hit something?
Hit the crap out of something.
Oh, there was one guy people caught he was driving.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, dumbass. Dumas.
Whoa.
As the French would say. Like, okay, I have to say, I watched some reviews. There's one, Marcus something. He does reviews of all sorts of tech. Brilliant. He does great videos.
Okay.
And he really tests out a product so you can get to understand it. It's very, very cool. Like, imagine like having essentially what looks like a huge screen right in front of you that you can move and manipulate by just the way you work this thing. Say you want to open music, you look at the music app and then tap your fingers. So it's tracking your eyeballs, and then your haptic is just this little click here like you're a crab. And so the police saw this guy driving, it was a self-driving car, but he had the headset on, and he's sitting there just doing this. And you're like, dude.
What are you doing?
Like, what are you doing in your car? No, and again, it's ingenious stuff. Like, I don't want to spend $3,500 on it, but I'd love to play with one of these things because it's truly remarkable what Apple's done. It's probably one of their coolest new products. But again, folks are showing, like, talk about the Darwin Awards. I think we're going to get a lot of folks taken out with these headsets.
Well, okay, $3,500 now. What do you think it'll be in 10 years? $199?
It could be. And right now it's still pretty bulky.
Yeah.
It's still, you still got to plug it in. The battery pack that you can walk around with, it only lasts 2 hours. So, I mean, you can plug it into the wall if you want to watch a movie. And that's what I would do with it. I would like watch a movie or something because it'd be fully immersive. And you can create settings like you're on the moon and it feels like you're in a different space completely. Truly immersive. And cool product, but you could see where this goes wrong very quickly.
Think I could do it to get inside my wife's head, figure out what she's thinking?
I don't know about that, Eddie. I don't think that technology is available. You might have to wait for artificial general intelligence for that has ever been discovered.
That's something I need help with.
Now, did you see, and I don't know if it's worth playing the clip on the stream here, but we can just describe it. An Auburn basketball players, what happened the other night on the court?
I did not see it.
He got close to the sideline and like where fans sitting courtside kind of had to just prop him up because he almost went out of bounds.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't violent or anything. It's just like he kind of leaned, and then one of the fans didn't just hold him up, like grabbed his jersey.
Oh boy.
And the guy turned around and kind of smack him. And then he goes and does the smacking motion, the Auburn player does, and then realizes, oh my God, that's Morgan Freeman.
Oh, really?
And then he came back and apologized for smacking at him and all this stuff. But it was a fun little moment where you can see him all, he turns around upset and goes, oh, it's Morgan Freeman. It's literally God right here. Like, so that's a fun moment. This was Auburn for Johnny Broom.
Oh, that's funny.
That's
That's a funny moment.
Pretty great stuff. It's just a quick little moment, and great to see Morgan Freeman enjoying some Tigers basketball.
I don't know. I seen a video of him this weekend, and it might have been at that game, but they were basically introducing him as he was coming onto the court, and he was like, "Hey, I'm just here to watch the game. Don't blast me." But they put him on blast.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, fellas, how y'all today?
Doing all right, Randall. How you doing?
Yeah, You sound 140% of somebody who's supposed to be sick. I mean, I'm on.
I would say I'm about 80%, Randall.
All right,
You don't want to see me at 140%. I'll be like Achilles. I'll be sleeping with everybody. Nobody be safe. I win all the wars. It'll be just a mess.
But I didn't find this because of what you own and going down this road. I found this trying to save a grandson. But Tom Oxley out of Australia, it's a company called Synchrone. You can go ahead and type it in if you want to, so you can see this. But they can insert a capsule in your blood vessel in your brain with a catheter, put the monitor in your chest, and you can control any artificial intelligence with this thinking. And you don't have to move no hands. You don't have to do nothing.
Wait, it's like the Borg?
Back. Yeah, we way ahead of where we at. Like, I'm telling you, we way ahead of what they're giving us. And they trying to take this away from Tom. Bill Gates and the dude who was doing the same thing Elon's doing. They actually are on Elon's team, but they're betting with Tom. If that makes any sense. They're losing money on the front side, showing you that they were Elon coming to Alabama cut skulls, but they actually got their money in Synchrone, and they're trying to take Tom Oxley out of the way so they can take over. And
how do you spell Synchrone?
SYN Chrome, like adrenochrome. I know you don't want to hear that, but I mean,
I'm looking at Synchrome is a recurring occurrence and plot device used in the anime series Beyblade.
No.
Look at Tom Oxley. Look at Tom Oxley.
Right. Got a whole YouTube thing.
Yeah, look at Tom Oxley. Maybe they may already change the name of it, Joey. They're taking it away from it. They're making it where Elon's going to come out with this in the future.
How are they taking it away from it, Randall?
Because they want Elon.
I mean, how are they doing it?
Oh, they put him as chairman. They took him off.
I got you.
He was. They took him off as owner. Now he put him as CEO. Now he's freaking fixing to be the chairman of the board now.
I got you.
So that's how they're taking it away from him.
Yep.
And they did the same thing to Mark and Martin with Tesla. See, Martin started Tesla, not Elon Musk. They let Elon do the same thing. Martin built the best Tesla car out the market.
Yeah, I remember you saying this, and I've heard this story. I don't completely buy it.
Won't nobody ever get to see it?
Well, you ain't got to buy it, but Elon, Tesla came out. All they did was copy Tesla's work from the 1800s. Martin. They went straight to Nikola Tesla's best work, the best electric motor there was. They put it in the number 2 car. It's actually in Martin's garage right now.
Yep.
He still got the
video
car.
he's got in his car, yeah.
So and if you come across any videos like that, please send it to me, Ed. I don't have none of that no more. All this stuff is stuff that I studied, and when Barry done what he done to me, I burned all my notebooks.
All right, I'll send it to you.
Oh yeah, please do. Cause I need to get back on. I need to get back into that crap. So I know I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff, but that basically gets you where we want to be. How they keep stuff from us, and they put it out. And they see right now everybody's buying this Tesla stuff, thinking that he's working his way toward the best car. When the best car is already built, and Martin owns it. He still owns it. He didn't let them get that with Tesla. And
wait, who told this story, Martin?
He tells a couple funny stories about it, but more of
I don't know about Martin.
I don't want anybody to know where that car's at as he's standing in front of it in his garage.
Well, no, I've actually seen it run. I've seen people in the car. Like he took people, the video I watched. He put people in the car and they went down the road in it. And it went from 0 to 30 is ridiculous. Like you can't even take a breath of air. You that boom boom.
Right,
that quick.
Yeah.
You don't even get a breath of air.
Well, they're getting 0 to 60 in 2-something seconds. Yeah.
Right, you just pin to the seat.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a dragster at that point. You just pin to the seat.
Well, I'm saying you get to 60 way under half a second. When I tell you can't take a half a breath, but you get to 30, you get to 60 under half a second. The car is built, Joe. That's what I'm telling you. The car that they're telling you that takes 3 seconds.
No, I know electric vehicles, especially drag racers, have been, and I know what you're talking about with the origins of Tesla, but I don't completely buy. Elon just took this and didn't do anything, didn't improve on the product, didn't do all these other things. But
no, they improving it, but it's already the best is built. They just working their way through. It's already been proven. and
Well-
they got the diagram to get there. So just look at Tom Oxley and watch what they do to him. They shouldn't take him and slam off the map. I promise.
Okay.
Just like they did Martin Martin. You want? I need the videos of please. I'll pay you.
All right.
Ed.
I'll send them to you, bro.
Love you, bro.
See you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Randall. 272-9228. Let's go to Papa B.
What up, Papa B?
Hey, sorry I lost my composure Friday.
It's cool.
It's been so long.
It's
ago.
cool. Craig brings that out in people.
Oh,
He's a
Craig
great
was here,
dude.
that's why I had
You
to
know,
But there's something about Craig. Y'all ready to fight him.
Porcupine. He's awfully spiny.
I pride myself in being able to get along with just about everybody. Am I easy to get along with, Eddie?
Yes, compared to other people that have to get along with, you're swimming. You're swimming. But
You got to qualify that a little bit. Well, yeah, somebody that just thinks they know all possible outcomes to all possible futures, that just gets to me a little bit. I mean, I'm a contrarian, but I'm not.
Right.
I like to think of myself as a common sense contrarian, not just a, what contrarian. So anyway, have y'all talked about the South Carolina election yet?
have not.
No, we in passing asked what the heck is Nikki Haley still doing, but what do you got?
Well, so here's what I've heard. Oh, and by the way, I'm waiting for the robots that can really, get some skill in taking care of my yard.
Oh,
and
I'm glad you said that. I thought you were going to say something else. Good God.
What's the start?
Yeah, no. Well, your mom's in a gutter all the time anyway, Joey.
Well, I hang out with this pervert. You try.
Well, that's true. I mean, I'll give you some slack there.
He had the weekend off, if I remember.
No, instead of just a glorified Roomba,
Yeah.
something that's got some sense that,
Right.
can clean my pool and mow my grass.
Mow my grass, trim my hedges.
bushes.
Yeah.
That's right, man.
Pick up the dog poop.
But anyway, yeah, absolutely. Anyway, with South Carolina, this is now, all hearsay, I'm telling you, but I kind of makes sense, so Joe Biden walked away with the Democrat nomination with 4% of the, of votes?
Yeah.
Voting
Apparently, yeah.
population? So 4%. So where's all the Democrats? So what I heard was that there's just been this quiet message that's been sent out to keep your powder dry.
Mm-hmm.
And since they have an open primary like we do here,
Right.
the Democrats are going to be voting in the Republican nomination.
Who do you think they're going to vote for?
Well, I don't know, but I would suggest they're going to have a strong vote for Trump. I mean, for Biden. I think that Trump is going to get some of the black population vote. There's just a lot of folks that are displeased with what Biden's done, but I think that's what Nikki Haley is.
That's what
kinda
she's
holding
banking
out
on,
hope
baby.
for.
That's what she's banking
Yeah.
on.
Don't you think so?
Oh,
Doesn't that
100%.
make sense?
Yep, exactly
100%.
right.
And if you remember,
Absolutely.
South Carolina last time, that was the one where we thought somebody was going to get out. All of a sudden, they became kingmaker.
Well, and I said it earlier today, Papa B, and maybe it's extreme, whatever, but if the Republican Party goes along with that and tries to place Nikki Haley, I will do everything within my power, and it's not much. It might just be a bunch of bitching and yelling on air to make sure they lose. I'm not voting or supporting y'all at all if you do that.
They don't know. This is the dream candidate now, get Trump off the ballot. Same way that, they got Doug Jones elected.
Yep.
In Alabama, the Democrats elected Doug Jones. The Republicans didn't. So this open primary stuff has got to really be looked at closely by, the Republican parties in these conservative states. Anyway, I think that's what's happening, and I think who knows what's going to happen. I think Donald Trump still has a better than average chance of winning it anyway. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
To me, there's no doubt.
Trials are going to get delayed. The true jury in all these cases will be the American people, and I think Trump's going to win the day.
Court of public opinion.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, listen, thanks for letting me call in.
Appreciate it.
Some of those robots when you find them.
We'll do it. Thank you, Papa B.
All right, bye.
I was about to say, can we get a robot that'll listen to my wife's stories? I'm not even married, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
5,000 words a day. That's how many words women have to speak, apparently. And apparently I have to hear 499 of them, or 4,999 of them.
You kind of fell into my trap. You got yourself in trouble. I don't have a life.
It's something I talk about all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I stay in this doghouse.
No, it's reminded me of that South Park episode with the shake weight.
Yeah. That's a good episode, Joe.
Tell me about the women at work, honey. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage.
Yeah, we're missing somebody here today.
Yeah, Madeline.
I'm putting it out there.
Madeline was supposed to be here today.
Her and I have been doing this hit or miss here thing lately, so I guess this is her day to stand me up. She's supposed to come in, and she texted me and said she wouldn't be able to make because she's busy.
Well, that's a good reason.
It is a good,
yeah,
honestly,
very good reason.
We talked a little off air. She's doing what she's supposed to do. But let me go ahead and tell you, if you're thinking about buying a home, first-time home buyer, or you've bought 100 homes before, these are the folks you need to call. They will walk you through the process. Now, like I've said, maybe you've bought 100 houses. You don't need somebody to hold your hand. That's fine. They'll let you do that. You can just say, hey, I want you to give my approval. And they're going to say, okay, we're going to let you do your own thing, but they'll stay right there a phone call away from you. And then they'll put you in touch with people like me that can help you find a great house. Or let's say you want to do refinancing. Very popular nowadays. Credit card debt after Christmas is catching up. You got that student loan option that you can take care of as well. Or maybe you want to do a cash out refinance on your home. You want to do some repairs. Or maybe you want to help somebody out buy them a car. Nothing wrong with that either, Joey.
None wrong with that at all. So call up Alabama Home Mortgage today. That number, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. And MLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. And just so I'm clear, we miss you, Madeline. I know you're busy, but like it when you're here.
Love it when she's here.
But hey, let's hit this break.
All right.
Be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your market report. How is the real estate market and what does 2024 hold for us? Last year, over 4,700 homes sold and closed through realtors, and the average sales price was $245,000. People who have owned real estate over the last 2 to 3 years have profited by keeping their homes and now have more equity in their home than ever. The people who listed their homes with realtors were able to find ready and willing buyers that paid at or above their asking price. Mortgage companies and local builders have found ways to overcome higher rates with attractive programs that allow for low-cost refinancing when the rate drops. Some of the local mortgage companies have new programs that help buyers with low down payment programs, such as one program with 1% down or even less. If you haven't bought a house yet, now is the time. For all the information, call Bo Goodson at 221-2883 or the Goodson Group at 551-0225.
The Tears family has been your local Roto-Rooter service since 1964. Drain cleaning, plumbing repair, and those troublesome septic tanks, no problem. Technology has changed a bit in the last 54 years. Video inspections of lines to locate problems is available, as well as scheduling your appointment online. River Region residents have trusted Roto-Rooter for over half a century. You can too. Call today at 272-7130 or visit online at rotorooteralabama.com.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and lethal troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 special. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional grade supplies for every industry, even hard to find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Weather is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm. Your health and well-being can quickly be impacted by changing weather. The Johnny Adams Law Firm wants you to remain safe and be weather alert with the Rich Thomas Weather Network.
Rich Thomas Weather. We've got a pretty acceptable forecast for early February with today's high temperature up to about 64. There should be a good bit of sunshine. Clear skies, chilly tonight, but no freeze. The overnight low temperature down to about 37. We'll be in the low 60s on Wednesday, low to mid 60s on Thursday, and edging closer to 70 on Friday. Still dry weather right on through Friday until perhaps Friday night when some scattered showers come in, and then showers and thunderstorms become more likely over the weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. We can't say thank you enough to every one of you who have made Capital Tractor one of the largest Kubota dealers in the U.S. It's because of you. We're honored, we're humbled, we're grateful. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey, he's Eddie.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Hanging in here like a hair in a biscuit.
Again, did you come up with that, or who came up with that phrase?
I think I stole that from my boss.
Is that a variation on like a rusty fish hook?
It might be. He's a old Louisiana boy, so.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Right. Now, of all folks that had to come out with an explanation, are you surprised Tucker Carlson just had to drop one?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he came out with an explanation that here's why I'm interviewing Vladimir Putin.
Oh.
It came out as official today on Newswires that Tucker is in Moscow.
Yes. Saw that this morning.
Ready to interview Vladimir Putin. Hey, should we listen into this?
I think we should.
Yeah, how about that? And folks, by the way, our special guest is here. Stay tuned to the 2 o'clock hour. Renee Hilton, along with attorney Mickey McDermott, will be on the show. But here in the meantime is good old Tucker explaining why, he's doing the job of what journalists used to do.
Tonight, we're here to interview the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. We'll be doing that soon. There are risks to conducting an interview like this, obviously, so we thought about it carefully over many months. Here's why we're doing it. First, because it's our job. We're in journalism. Our duty is to inform people. 2 years into a war that's reshaping the entire world, most Americans are not informed. They have no real idea what's happening in this region, here in Russia or 600 miles away in Ukraine. But they should know. They're paying for much of it in ways they might not fully yet perceive. The war in Ukraine is a human disaster. It's left hundreds of thousands of people dead, an entire generation of young Ukrainians, and it's depopulated the largest country in Europe. But the long-term effects are even more profound. This war has utterly reshaped the global military and trade alliances, and the sanctions that followed have as well. And in total, they have upended the world economy. The post-World War II economic order, the system that guaranteed prosperity in the West for more than 80 years, is coming apart very fast, and along with it, the dominance of the US dollar. These are not small changes. They are history-altering developments.
Right.
They will define the lives of our grandchildren. Most of the world understands this perfectly well. They can see it. Ask anyone in Asia or the Middle East what the future looks like. And yet the populations of the English-speaking countries seem mostly unaware. They think that as nothing has really changed. And they think that because no one has told them the truth. Their media outlets are corrupt. They lie to their readers and viewers. And they do that mostly by omission. For example, since the day the war in Ukraine began, American media outlets have spoken to scores of people from Ukraine, and they have done scores of interviews with Ukrainian President Zelensky. We ourselves have put in a request for an interview with Zelensky, and we hope he accepts. But the interviews he's already done in the United States are not traditional interviews. They are fawning pep sessions specifically designed to amplify Zelensky's demand that the U.S. enter more deeply into a war in Eastern Europe and pay for it. That is not journalism. It is government propaganda. Propaganda of the ugliest kind, the kind that kills people. At the same time, our politicians and media outlets have been doing this, promoting a foreign leader like he's a new consumer brand. Not a single Western journalist has bothered to interview the president of the other country involved in this conflict, Vladimir Putin. Most Americans have no idea why Putin invaded Ukraine or what his goals are now. They've never heard his voice. That's wrong. Americans have a right to know all they can about a war they're implicated in, and we have the right to tell them about it because we are Americans too.
Hear, hear to Tucker Carlson. So stay tuned for that interview. It should be a real slobber knocker. Interview heard around the world, literally. Now, this part of the program, again, brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And again, folks, if you're a fella out there, or maybe you're not a guy out there, but you know a guy, and, well, it happens as men mature. Erectile dysfunction is a real thing. So PE can also be a problem.
Exactly.
Or low testosterone. Nothing to deny, put off. Don't be embarrassed. And it's not something to wait to get fixed. I know guys hate going to the doctor, but so do I. But Montgomery Men's Health was created just for guys like us to take care of us. So if you're lacking motivation, energy, you're always tired, like you're walking through life in a fog, perhaps seeing unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass, and you're working out, even a decrease in sex drive. Well, knowing whether you have low testosterone is huge in combating some of these issues. And the providers at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99 to help you figure that out. You should get this as part of your regular annual men's health routine. Urologists are even suggesting men at the age of 18 should start getting their T checked. But a lot of guys are suffering from low T and sometimes don't even realize it, but it affects quality of life big time. So once you do that $99 lab workup, Montgomery Men's Health, if you do have low T, have treatments that can truly change your life. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido. You can actually book the same day that you call. Guys, it's time to feel amazing and hit your goals this year. That number for Montgomery Men's Health, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those two fools on the radio, sent you. Now, Tucker isn't the only American hero in Moscow right now.
Oh, yeah?
Eddie. No, I think also one, you remember Edward Snowden?
I certainly do.
Yeah, he's still stuck in Moscow.
For good reason, I think.
And that's the name of my op-ed this week, An American Hero in Moscow. You remember the old Frederick Douglass line? You know, he had a lot of great lines. Right.
But he said power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will. That's why this guy's so awesome. Like, his language was just, Find out just what any people will submit to, and you have found out the exact measure of injustice and wrong which will be imposed upon them. Remind you of COVID at all, folks?
Yeah, buddy.
And these will continue till they are resisted with either words or blows or with both. The limits of tyrants are prescribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress. What an indictment of America that one of her greatest modern-day heroes for liberty, Edward Snowden, is forced to raise his children in Moscow as Russian citizens. Indeed, speak with too much candor about the abuses of the United States government, and one is almost certain to be deemed un-American, if not a traitor, to be exiled or hanged. Take your liberty too seriously, and you can always expect much official acrimony, harumphing, and even outright bloodlust from tyrants and their wooden-tongued idiot followers. Act too freely in the supposedly free world, and one is almost guaranteed to be accused of treason by U.S. government thugs and devils, whose fealty to their system of practical lies has rendered them suspicious and fearful of any true expression of American liberty. To resist tyranny has never been and will never be easy. Such an action requires courage, conviction, and a willingness to actively withdraw one's consent while unremorsefully breaking unjust laws at risk of unjust punishment. It is a cruel, unusual, and perilous task to resist tyrants, and often entails the sacrifice of family, friends, co-workers, and the freedom to live in one's own country. Yet the crucible of tyranny often produces clarion calls for liberty that have a way of transcending the time and space of any given tyrant's iron rule. Martyrs suffer so that others may someday live in the light and warmth of their hard-won conscience. An example, such has been true throughout human history, and such continues to this day, displayed in the life of Snowden. As Snowden revealed in 2013, the U.S. intelligence community, operating in the extra-legal, unconstitutional shadows of the intelligence agencies, is the world's largest purveyor of personal information in the name of security. The public has now confirmed what they long suspected to be true. The National Security Agency has built an architecture of oppression that is being used for the transnational collection of free communications of innately free people. And such revelations aren't without a cost. In 2013, a letter from Snowden to the country of Brazil, where he was trying to go, here's what Snowden writes, quote, "My act of conscience began with a statement. I don't want to live in a world where everything that I say, everything I do, everyone I talk to, every expression of creativity or love or friendship is recorded. That's not something I'm willing to support. It's not something I'm willing to build, and it's not something I'm willing to live under." Days later, I was told my government had made me stateless and wanted to imprison me. The price for my speech was my passport, but I would pay it again. I will not be one to ignore criminality for the sake of political comfort. I would rather be without a state than without a voice. The statement, "I would rather be without a state than without a voice," will go down in history as a shining example of civil disobedience and intrepid American courage, a reminder of man's innate liberty to speak boldly, no matter the threatening scowls and spittle on the faces of the powerful. 10 years after blowing the whistle in the American government's illegal mass surveillance regime, Snowden still says, "I have no regrets," although he warns if we think about what we saw in 2013 and the capabilities of government today, 2013 seems like child's play. Snowden applied for Russian citizenship in 2020, though he did not renounce his American citizenship. Now seemingly stuck in Russia in perpetuity, Snowden says, quote, "It is not my choice to be in Russia. I'm constantly criticizing the Russian government's policy, the Russian government's human rights record, even the Russian president by name. After years of separation from our parents, my wife and I have no desire to be separated from our son. That's why in this era of pandemics and closed borders, we're applying for dual U.S.-Russian citizenship. And I look forward to the day I can return to the States so the whole family can be reunited. Our greatest wish is that wherever our son lives, he feels a home, at home." Many Americans today seem all too eager to submit to the demands of the American ruling elite, no matter how unjust their impositions or absurd their shifting rationales for tyranny and exploitation. Indeed, it is a tragically unsurprising reflection of the United States today that an American hero who gave one of the most courageous displays of resistance to tyranny in recent memory is no longer welcome in America, but must live the rest of his days as a Russian citizen in Moscow. Really is a crying shame, folks. 272-9228. Again, coming up, we have Renee Helton, former Montgomery police officer, who has accused the chief of police of sexual misconduct and of retaliation by the chief and top brass. We'll be talking to Renee and her attorney, Mickey McDermott, here in the 2 o'clock hour. Y'all stay tuned. But we had to hit this quick break. Hopefully we have Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances on the other side.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Sometimes you need things done around your house or land that your lawnmower or weed eater just can't handle. That's when you call Prattville Farm Center. They bring their own crew and equipment and clear whatever you need. They say no job is too small. I've been going to Prattville Farm Center for years, and I like dealing with hometown folks. They get the job done right and get it done quickly. If you have land that needs clearing, call Randy at Prattville Farm Center on South Memorial Drive in Prattville. Call 365-5400.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Waiting a call here from Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. But first, again, this is part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. And gentlemen, you need to remember that Valentine's Day is right around the corner. And if you go to DillonRings.com, but not just DillonRings.com, but to the Book of Faces. Just type in Dillon Rings on Facebook or Instagram. Gentlemen, you can see some of these amazing sales, amazing discounts and deals they have for Valentine's Day, including some gorgeous earrings they posted today. A Valentine's Day special. Elevate your style with their exquisite couture diamond earrings. Now available at an unbeatable, unbelievable 35 to 50% off. Really, these things look amazing, and this is a great way to, well, be in the good graces of your lady come Valentine's Day. I mean, this is the holiday where, gentlemen, we got to show out. We got to do something special. Don't be the guys getting chocolates at the gas station last second. Be the guy who actually went to Dillon Rings, who took an extra second to think about, what am I going to do for my Valentine this Valentine's Day? And of course, they're at Dillon Rings. They're a full-service jewelry shop. So maybe you have an idea for custom design or resetting stones when it comes to different wedding bands and rings. We know a few folks have done that. Maybe you need a cleaning, a spa treatment, or an appraisal or a repair of a watch, anything there at Dillon Rings. Again, they are a full-service jewelry shop there. So again, check out Dillon Rings today. You can always go to the Book of Faces, or you can, well, go to Instagram and search Dillon Rings, or go to DillonRings.com. But I really encourage you, the best way to work with Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings is 119 Brown Springs Road. Go see them in person. That's 119 Brown Springs Road, just off of Atlanta Highway. I like to remember where they're located because it's where I used to work, Fun Zone. The funnest of zones. It's a shame it got knocked over by a tornado. Be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. Let's go right to the phones, talk to Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. How you doing today, Michael?
I'm wonderful. How are y'all?
Doing quite well. Well, actually, I would say more like 80%. It's kind of going at 75% as the day goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but good to be back in the saddle. How's it going there at Cohen's today?
It's going good. It's going good. Michael Jackson's been pretty busy, and just watching him have to field calls from customers. I was just on the phone. You know, there's so many things that are plug and play, but they don't always play.
Right.
Sometimes they don't plug, but you can typically get them to plug But the rest of it is the tricky part. And to listen to him field calls from people that have issues with their cable box, have issues with streaming, have issues with YouTube TV, I often wonder what happens to somebody when they don't have a Michael Jacks to call.
Well, and I've seen the guy work myself. I've seen it with my own eyes. He's a wizard.
Yeah.
He really gets the job done quickly. He knows what he's doing. It seems like he's been doing this for years, Michael.
Well, before he came to work with us, and he's been with us for probably 16, 17 years, but he worked for Electronic Engineers, and they did huge systems. Like, they flew all over the country, and they would do a system in some big stadium up in the Northeast. And, their part of the job would be millions of dollars. And then there's other people that were working on it. But everybody had their own little section. And so he came from the commercial world, and when you put him in someone's home, and even with a big ugly rack, it's 6 feet tall, and you've got all these ugly black boxes that have to have all these wires that connect everything umpteen times. He gets in there and he makes it look all neat and orderly, and customers are blown away with his workmanship. But everything that I guess it's like being an ER doctor,
right?
And then you go to work with private practice, and you're seeing people on a schedule instead of 8 people come in with gunshot wounds at one time. It's just like child's play for him, because nothing is that hard in comparison to what he was trained on.
Well, there you go. It's those type of professionals, those sorts of folks that have your back when you work with Cohen's, when you shop there at Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. You can always go to thinkcohens.com or call them at 277-8890. But I really encourage you to stop by 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. And y'all are open 9 to 6 today, all week except for Saturday. That's what, 9 to 4?
9 to 4 on Saturdays.
Well, I appreciate it as always, Michael, and I'm glad to be back. I'm sorry about missing yesterday, but good to hear your voice, kind sir.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too. No, really good dude.
Getting deep there for a minute.
No, like
get my boots out with you boys.
Yeah. Well, we ready to hit our top of the hour break, and our guest is here.
That's right.
Our special, super special guest is here. Y'all stay tuned. Renee Hilton, former Montgomery police officer, after the top of the hour break.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
This is an SRN News Special Report. I'm John Scott. In a closely watched trial, a Michigan jury has found a school shooter's mother guilty of involuntary manslaughter in groundbreaking proceedings to determine whether she had any responsibility in the deaths of 4 students in 2021. Prosecutors say Jennifer Crumley was grossly negligent. She failed to tell Oxford High School officials that the family had a gun that her son Ethan Crumley had previously used at a shooting range. Ethan was allowed to stay in school on November 30th, 2021, the day of the shooting, following a roughly 12-minute meeting with Jennifer and James Crumley when the school staff expressed concerns about a violent drawing attributed to their son. Crumley serving a sentence of life without the possibility of parole. This has been an SRNU Special Report. I'm John Scott.
Life insurance. What's your excuse for putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think your work coverage is enough? There's a lot of excuses for putting off life insurance, but one big reason why you shouldn't. If the unexpected were to happen to you, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' tuition, and all the other bills? In a time of grief, the last thing you would want is for your family to have to sell the house and struggle to survive financially. At Ethos, we could get you covered in just 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Rates can increase the longer you wait, so no more excuses. Take 10 minutes today and discover the modern way to get the life insurance coverage you need. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
We've got a pretty acceptable forecast for early February with today's high temperature up to about 64. There should be a good bit of sunshine. Clear skies, chilly tonight, but no freeze. The overnight low temperature down to about 37. We'll be in the low 60s on Wednesday, low to mid 60s on Thursday, and edging closer to 70 on Friday. Still dry weather right on through Friday until perhaps Friday night when some scattered showers come in, and then showers and thunderstorms become more likely over the weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
1819 News.
State Representative Kenneth Pascal has pre-filed a bill regarding public safety measures as applied to churches and religious institutions. The bill from Pascal is coming after concerns about restrictions that were placed by the state health officer during COVID-19. In 2020, Dr. Scott Harris closed public beaches, senior citizen centers, schools, restaurants, and bars, and limited worship gatherings to less than 25 people. HB 99 would limit emergency management from placing restrictions on places of worship. Pascal says his bill is to establish the rights of religious institutions during a state of emergency and to seek a proper balance of public health and safety concerns when it comes to unfettered freedom to practice religion as a U.S. citizen. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
A Mobile man chooses not to testify in his murder trial. The case against Marco Perez continues this week with closing arguments set for today. Perez is charged with murder in the shooting death of undercover officer Sean Tudor back in 2019. Country singer and songwriter Toby Keith has died at the age of 62 after battling stomach cancer for the past 2 years. Keith worked the oil fields of Oklahoma before he entered the music industry as a singer. He was signed on to Mercury Records with Harold Shedd back in 1993. Shedd is the same producer for the band Alabama. Keith's first breakout hit after that was Should Have Been a Cowboy. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Conservative Justice Sarah Stewart has the experience to lead Alabama's courts. As a tough-on-crime judge, Sarah Stewart presided over hundreds of cases, giving tough sentences to the worst criminals. Republicans can trust Justice Sarah Stewart to defend the Constitution and protect our families. On March 5th, vote conservative Republican Sarah Stewart for Alabama Chief Justice. Paid for by Sarah Stewart Campaign, 2029B, Airport Boulevard, Mobile, Alabama, 36606.
The Montgomery Performing Arts Center presents Samantha Fish featuring Jesse Dayton.
Your kisses like a dance with. If she could, she would be still. But the story goes just like this.
Don't miss one of the most dynamic forces in the blues world today, Samantha Fish featuring Jesse Dayton, live Wednesday, February 14th at 7 p.m. Get your tickets now at the Impact Box Office or online at Ticketmaster.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. And as promised, our guests are here in the studio with me. We have the attorney, Mickey McDermott, right across from me in the desk here. How you doing today, Mickey?
I am well, and for those who actually can see me, well, hopefully.
Hey. Oh, you're stumping for Jack. We didn't agree to this. Who's this Jacqueline?
Well, in my profession, sometimes you got to say she's the best man for the job.
There you go. And we also have in the studio here former Montgomery police officer Renee Helton. Renee, how you doing today?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right.
Introduce who you have with you, Renee.
Of course, by my side, I have my fiance, Marcus Webster.
Marcus, how you doing?
Doing good yourself.
All right, I'm surviving. So where do we want to begin? Because I kind of let you open the floor, Mr. Attorney, here, and lay out what this case is. What's going on here?
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to your audience and my fellow citizens here in Montgomery. As you know, I've been on your show before over the years. Part of my practice is I represent the Southern States Police Benevolent Association, the police union. Police officers nationwide contribute to a legal defense fund, and when they have issues, civil or criminal representation, trained lawyers step in to represent them. I myself worked my way through law school in large measure as a third shift Montgomery police officer. After I finished my tour in the military, I consider the Montgomery Police Department part of my family. I always have, I always will. I want to see the best for it. I want to see the men and women who serve our community treated with respect, honor, dignity, treated properly under the law, treated properly when they do wrong. I want to see them protected to the best of my ability, and I hope that any police officer who gets in trouble is a member of the Southern States Police Benevolent Association so they can get good representation. I represent police officers when they do right, and I represent them when they do wrong. Ms. Helton is a member of the PBA, and as such, I was asked to step in because she has a personnel issue. And that personnel issue is she, like a number of other police officers, because of the recruiting and manpower situation in this country that's going on with law enforcement agencies in every state, city, and federal government, it's hard to get trained police officers. Montgomery Police Department recruits. One of the people they recruited was a semi-professional basketball player from Arizona.
Okay.
I might say, I might add, she's also former military. I thank her for her service to our country. And if it's not for the young men and women who serve our country, we wouldn't have one.
Right.
So Renee, a single mother of 2 children, was recruited to come to Montgomery to become a police officer. She shined her way through the Montgomery Police Department into the academy. She's been on the streets for quite some time. And as you can tell, and your audience can tell, she's a very attractive young woman. And that's a plus, and it's a minus.
Yeah.
The plus is she has a good rapport with people on the street. She's doing a phenomenal job as a police officer. And unfortunately, we live in an age where sometimes men and women interact in inappropriate manners. In this particular case, the allegations are, and this young lady will attest to them, that the leadership in the Montgomery Police Department failed her. Not just the chief of police, but the supervisors, many of which are listening to this program right now. We hold you accountable, ladies and gentlemen, not only for wearing that uniform and doing your duty, but to uphold the responsibility that we have to the men and women under your command. The allegations in this case are particularly ugly. The allegations are that our married chief of police became infatuated with this young woman. So much so that He misused his appointed position, appointed by the mayor, and he began pursuing this young lady on and off the job. And in my hand is the evidence of that relationship. And this young lady, fearing for her position because her boss holds her career in his hands. This young lady who left her home, brought her 2 children, do the math, 5,000 or 2,960 miles from Arizona. She came to our city, doesn't know Montgomery, doesn't know anyone here, volunteered to risk her life for each of us in this community. She volunteered her life nights, weekends, holidays, and bad weather. She was out there doing the job that we don't want to do. Having done that job, I can tell you right now, you eat, breathe, and live that job 24/7. And the distraction came when her chief of police, her senior supervisor, decided he was going to break the vows of his marriage and pursue this young lady. And that pursuit went on and on and on. And it is graphic. There is incontrovertible evidence to support her claims. She complained to her chain of command, just as she should have. And instead of having her city, her community, and her chain of command wrap their arms around her to protect her, to stop this behavior, she was punished, penalized, and driven out of the Montgomery Police Department. Here in the land of civil rights, her civil rights are being violated every single day by her boss. Now, if this was just allegations by her, then we would have a reason to pause and question her motives. Unfortunately, it's not. Unfortunately, this chief of police comes from New Orleans with this same baggage. In the last 72 hours, we have interviewed half a dozen young women, former police officers from New Orleans. We've talked to them and their lawyers, and they're going to be talking and holding press conferences. These women are coming from New Orleans on their own dime to say, this happened to us in New Orleans.
Wow, okay.
And now it's happening to you in Montgomery.
All right, wow.
And this young lady, to her credit, was smart enough and cunning enough to keep records. And in our day and time, records carry weight. Now, my position is, and my duty is, to protect her at a city-county personnel board. A personnel board which does not have a very good track record of supporting law enforcement officers who are brought up on charges, whether those charges are valid or not. But we're going to give that city-county personnel board an opportunity to do the right thing and reinstate her. If they don't, then we're going to go sit in front of a circuit judge and a jury and give that judge and that jury an opportunity, whether it be in state court or federal court or both.
Right.
Now, Miss Helton is here. The young man she's brought with her is also a former Montgomery police officer. An 18-year, yes, I said that, 18-year veteran of our police department. Because when Miss Helton began to refuse the amorous desires of our chief of police in uniform on duty, she turned him down. And apparently, you don't turn down the sexual advances of our chief of police.
Right.
And as a result, she started a relationship with a fellow police officer, an 18-year veteran. And when our chief of police and the chain of command found out that they were dating each other instead of dating our chief of police as his desires, our city, our leadership in our police department turned on them both. So now a young single female with 2 children is suddenly attacked by her leadership. Not supported, but attacked. And as we all know, when the people in power want to get you, they're going to get you. They're going to write you up enough to where they force you in and force you out. That's what they did with her. And that's what they did with an 18-year veteran of our city. 18 years. And I happen to know that their lawyers, their senior leadership, and members of our city leadership are listening to us right now.
Well, and I appreciate that, Mickey. I think that's a great way to set the table here. And I want to go to you, Renee,
Yes,
in this sense. Well, just some quick stuff. Like, when did you first come to Montgomery? When did you kind of you remember when you made that decision to move from Arizona to here, and why?
Yes, sir. I wanted to be in law enforcement in Arizona, but Arizona had like a 2 or 3 year wait. So I did get accepted through the Phoenix Police Department out there.
Okay.
But because of the wait was so long, the recruiter said, look, you can just come here for 2 years, and then you're able to transfer wherever you want to go. So that was my original plan, was to come out here, get on the force, get my 2 years, and then go back to Arizona. But honestly, I fell in love with this city. I fell in love with the community here. I saw that people here, the citizens here, were being taken advantage of, and there was bullies here. And I just felt like, Jesus had me here for a reason. And I plan on staying here and retiring from the Montgomery Police Department. But I worked in the North Side. I worked in Newtown. You know what I'm saying? For someone to say that they fell in love with that, I mean,
Right.
like, you really got to love your job if you fall in love with Newtown. No shame to Newtown. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, what kind of work you got to do when you work on the North Side. So when I was exposed to that, and, the single mothers out there, they were, they wanted me to arrest some of the single mothers because their kids weren't going to school. But I pulled the mother aside and I said, why is he not going to school? And she cried and she said, I don't have the money to get him supplies. I don't got the money to get him clothes or new shoes. I said, is that your mom right there? She said, yes, ma'am. I said, get your mom in the car and your son in the car and you follow me to the store. And I bought that kid supplies. I bought him clothes and shoes. That's the type of officer I am. And a lot of these mothers are probably going to come out and tell you like what type of community policing I do. That's not just to boost my character. This is real life, what I was doing out of my own money,
Right.
buying these things for these women out here. And then you got Chip Hill saying why I got fired was because I got permission from my supervisors to take my kids to and from school.
I was going to ask you the official reason they gave you.
Because I got permission through text messages. 3 of my supervisors admitted to city investigation. Yes, we gave her permission. Put it on 2 documentations that a major did an investigation. They say, yes, we gave her permission and other officers permission. There's a document with other police officers' names, but city investigation didn't want to investigate them. Chief Albert didn't want to investigate them. I'm the only female on that memo and the only one who was a victim of Chief Albert, and I'm the only one who was investigated and fired.
Now, I'd imagine you can be chummy with a boss. You can make jokes with a boss.
Right.
Especially, I imagine law enforcement's a whole other different type of environment. It's it's certainly not like working in radio. But was there a moment when you realized a line has been crossed? Was there a particular moment where you realized this guy's trying to make the moves on me? This guy's.
Yes, sir.
Can you describe that? What was that moment?
That moment was when Daryl Albert told me that he can put me in Band-Aid. That when we take the corporal's test, I was going to be the top of the list. That he was going to put me in that top of the list because he's the chief of police and he could do that. Then told me he was going to put me in the academy because you don't know your chief. I'm Chief Albert. I could put you in there. I'm like, no, I don't want none of that. I want to earn it. I'm not qualified to go there.
He was offering you an instructor's position at the academy,
Correct.
as opposed to being a street officer.
Correct. And I'm not qualified. So I turned both of those down because I want to earn where I go and where I get transferred to. I knew I wasn't qualified to be at the Alabama Police Academy, like the Montgomery Police Academy. I'm not qualified for that. But
So that's when you're like,
he was gonna put me there.
yeah, you're like, that's weird. Why would he do that?
Well, I mean, not only weird, but I mean, like then after that, there goes the sexual comments. And so when you say what I could do for you, and you could do it because you're the chief of police and nobody's going to question it, and you have the authority to do it with no explanation needed, and then you follow with sexual requests and sexual demands, what does that tell you? That if I turn this man down, just as quick as he can uplift my career, he can quickly kill my career. And that's exactly what happened.
And by sexual comments, I mean,
Oh yeah. I mean, one of them was,
This is still a family radio show, Joey.
yeah, but we push the envelope here. I don't.
oh, okay.
That envelope is very graphic.
Oh,
And we've turned copies of all of these messages. We've delivered them to the mayor's office.
Right.
City investigation, city legal. We now have a office. We have all kind of new offices in the city. We now have an office of the Inspector General. Okay. Peck Fox.
What are we, the feds?
Yeah,
What is
we
this?
have one now. His name is Attorney Peck Fox. Peck has these. Where is our city council? This is a city employee being sexually harassed by your employee, and you've had knowledge of it since last summer. Zero action. Zero council persons. Zero members of the Human Resources Department and the Personnel Department for the city of Montgomery. Zero have reached out to this young lady.
But
Our city legal, now understand, the city legal works for the
mayor.
city.
Yeah.
They work at the pleasure of the mayor, the pleasure of the city council, but you're allowing this to go on. And I mean this with all sincerity. This is somebody's child. This is somebody's daughter. This is somebody's mother. Ladies and gentlemen of the city of Montgomery, this is your employee that you're allowing this to happen to.
Right.
Your city council is allowing this to happen. Our mayor is allowing this to happen. They know it's gone on. They have the proof, and it is easier to destroy her life and his life and do nothing about it. And when this came to me for a personnel hearing, this is untenable. I'll not stand for it. I live in this city. I serve to protect this city. I vote here. I pay taxes here. I raised my family here. And people that are listening to this audience, you need to understand me. This is the kind of thing that makes or breaks our city. If we allow this type of conduct to go on, we destroy the fabric of our department, and men and women who serve this city as city employees can no longer trust their leadership. The men and women who serve this city in the fire department, police department, they can no longer trust their superiors. How do you think that's going to help with recruiting long-term officers? And I think what's unfathomable to me is that we have a brand new officer with brand new skills that we're losing. We've just paid thousands upon thousands of dollars to train her. But sitting right next to her is 18 years of city employment, 18 years of working homicides, rapes, kidnappings, drug transactions. City policing at its finest is embodied in that young man.
Right.
And we have kicked him to the curb because we want to take care of a chief of police, with all due respect to Mr. Albert, Chief Albert, whichever he is these days, because I'm not sure if he's chief of police or not anymore. We're really no longer sure. Where is the accountability? Where is the transparency that our mayor spoke of just days ago at the State of the City address?
Right.
I'm sorry, Mayor Reed, members of the City Council, this is on you. And if you're okay with letting this going on and destroying the lives of your city employees, then you will spend infinite amounts of money in training and recruiting, and then you will spend more money in the lawsuits that my brethren bring against this city due to poor training, lack of experience, and lack of maturity in your department. Of all the city departments, the fire department, the first responders, the 911 operators, and our police officers, they are the thin blue line. They are the thin orange line. They are the wall between anarchy and chaos. A large part of my practice, and I'll be honest with you, 90% of my practice is protecting my clients from other members of my profession.
Right. Makes
Okay?
sense.
Just honest.
Makes sense.
And there are people who live for these cases.
Well, and I want to go back to you, Renee, because I don't want folks to get the idea that there was some, you're interpreting things wrong. So as
Right, I
he
understand
didn't
what
give
you're
up in pursuing you.
No. He would blatantly say what he wanted to do to me sexually, and then he would be like, "But I know you just want to be friends. But I know you just want to be professional," and then quickly be like, "Oh, but you'll go crazy when you have me. Oh, I know it'll be a good thing when you have me." He'd tell me to open up my legs so I could feel what's in between your legs, and then text "open up." I'm gonna lean over and I'm gonna kiss you. Said he wanted to be all in me, all over me, and all on me, and then reiterated what all on me as if I follow. And then I'm just like, so sexually, you want me sexually, you're just playing into, like, you're just leading yourself into this trap. But it also shows like this invincibility that he feels for himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody can touch this man because guess what? My cousin's the mayor. And can nobody fire me but the mayor? And you think my cousin's gonna fire me when he knew what I came with?
When you speak to what he came with, what do you speak of?
Oh, I mean, there's, like he said, there's dozens of victims in New Orleans, and they've been in contact with my attorney.
Yeah.
So have their lawyers. And what's so sad and what infuriates me, and God really gave me my purpose when this young lady called me and called Mickey when he was right next to me. She was crying because she heard my kid, and she said, if I only fought harder, there would have never been another victim. See, she said, I'm not a parent. It's just me. She said she did 20 years in New Orleans. They took her retirement. This woman was ready to retire from NOPD, and they took her retirement because she would not engage in a sexual relationship with Daryl Albert. Because
and there is a lawsuit being filed by lawyers out of Texas following Chief Albert.
Okay.
I'm just wondering how when we vet the people that we employ, how did we not find that? How did the city council allow that to happen?
Well, they found it. They found it. They ignored it. That's my speculation, my humble opinion.
Well, if nepotism is the magic key to getting city jobs and all, then we're all in big trouble.
Yeah.
And, and I know this sounds odd, but I represent police officers. I've probably represented dozens who have been brought up on charges over the years, one of which is truthfulness at all times. They mistake it or they lie on a police report. They put down inaccurate information. They give inaccurate testimony at court. They tell their supervisor the difference between the amount of time that they took an extra lunch, that kind of thing. It cost them their jobs. Truthfulness at all times is in the policy and procedures manual, and it will get you fired immediately.
Oh, not only will that get you fired, but fraternization. See, fraternization says your first offense, you're supposed to get 10-day suspension and a demotion. So you can't get demoted, Daryl Albert, because you're appointed by the mayor. So you automatically should be terminated. Automatically. That says what the second offense is. But because you have no rank to follow up under, that's an automatic termination.
And unfortunately, the city is fighting us.
Oh my God.
I had to file for this child to get, and I'm sorry.
It's okay. I understand the age cap.
It's really like this, Renee.
I understand the
At
age cap.
my age, I have razor blades over me. Okay? But I'm having to fight. Where is the city saying, you know, Mickey, she wants to be a police officer. We're short of police officers. By God, we'll fix this and get her back on the street. We spent thousands of dollars of training this young lady, and we're wasting it because
We want to protect a predator.
that sounds
That
ugly.
a
Doesn't that
predator's
sound
rights
ugly?
are more.
Where? I'm sorry. Where's the outrage?
Yeah.
Look, I'll be honest with you, Joey. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you giving us this forum.
Really?
It has taken me months to get anyone in the media to listen to me. Your competitor, my airborne brother, Kevin Elkins,
Hats up to Kevin.
gave me a platform for this young lady.
Yeah.
And listen, ladies and gentlemen, WSFA has interviewed her and stuck it in a drawer.
Yeah.
The Montgomery Advertiser has interviewed her and stuck the interview in a drawer. They have not said a peep. I believe that we have given up on journalism and we're all about how many times we can get invited to the mayor's office for a fundraiser or for the next Publix grand opening.
Well,
And I understand it's a business decision, but you know, I took an oath to fight for people. I'm going to stick by my oath. I don't know where WSFR are or the newspaper, because if you're listening, you're sitting on your ass and you're not doing your job. And you worry about ratings and sales of paper. The reason we stopped taking the newspaper is because you won't do your job.
Well, and I'm up against the clock here, but there's one part of the story I want to get to with Renee and with you, Marcus, because these advances are persistent. Mickey just showed the stack of evidence there.
And I ran out of ink, color and black. So there's more.
Okay.
There's more. Yeah.
So when did you think, okay, you kept obviously turning them down and he kept pursuing. When did you start to think, oh crap, they're out for me? Was it when they knew y'all were together?
That heated up, because Daryl Albert, Saba Coleman, Sergeant McGriff, and Chief Barnes were standing in the hallway when I was getting ready to go to my follow-up city investigation on the case that got me fired. Daryl Albert told Chief Barnes to walk me outside to tell me that don't mention any of the conversations that we have or meetings that we've had with you and Chief. Just let them substantiate you on these charges, and then we'll take care of it in-house. And that sounds like you're kind of coercing the witness, right? Tampering with something. Guess what the first question was when I went in there? Has anybody given you permission to send this, or has anybody told you you could do this? Have you met with any higher ups that given you the okay to respond to this email or not write this memo? I'm like, wow, I just got walked out by Chief Barnes, who told me not to mention that me and her have conversations about this. No, because Chief Barnes failed as a chief. Chief Daryl Albert failed as a chief. I went to them for 11 months straight to ask to be removed. Daryl Albert put a captain, Amy Savell, in charge of me, knowing that there's a conflict of interest. I have an EEOC against her wife, who was removed from my shift. Why would you put her wife now in charge of me? I have a copy of that EEOC when the city received it. So don't say you didn't know. But for 11 months, they denied me to be transferred from that shift. We have a sergeant who went there and said, hey, this is a conflict of interest. Why are you bringing her here? I'm not going to be stuck in the middle of this. And they said, oh no, she's coming to that shift. Daryl Albert texted me saying, so we could kill the rumor mill. It was me, myself, and I who put Amy Savell on your shift. Tell me that's not condescending.
Yeah.
Tell me that's not saying I'm invincible.
Let me ask one very pointed question. I know you're up against the break, Joey. Did you make an official complaint against Chief Albert in writing to City Investigations or anybody else?
Yes, sir.
Did anybody else make a complaint on your behalf that you had informed of this behavior?
Chief Barnes went to City Investigation and opened the investigation case for me.
There was a formal investigation against the chief, and we're sitting here months and months later.
Right.
You're fired.
I'm fired.
Your fiance's fired.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the chief of police?
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. And it got back to us that the women at Montgomery Police Department are scared. They don't feel like their lives are being protected by the mayor, because you're telling me that my word and the evidence that I bring you that I'm being sexually harassed means that I'm going to be fired while this predator remains at the job. So anybody of high ranking gets a free pass. That's what you're saying to these women and these victims at Montgomery Police Department, that our lives don't matter, that our words don't matter, that if we're sexually harassed and it's a chief or anybody high like that, you're going to be fired, and we're going to protect this. We're going to protect this predator, this monster. Come on now, because a citizen can come and make a complaint on a police officer, a citizen. Guess what happens to that police officer? Effective immediately. He is removed from the streets, or she is removed from the streets and put on admin leave. Effective immediately. So what you're doing to these victims at Montgomery Police Department is tormenting them. Because I know there's more. But you're showing.
How do you know there's more?
Because they reached out to me.
So you're not the
And they're
only...
going to supervisors and telling them, we don't feel safe here at Montgomery Police Department. That if this happened to me, they wouldn't protect me. That me as a police officer, my life don't matter. But a citizen can come and make an allegation against a police officer, and effective immediately, they are removed and put on admin leave. But you have Daryl Albert walking in and out of that police department every day
with complaints filed by you and a chief.
Well, from as far as I can tell the story, and this should have never happened to you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for speaking out and working with Mickey here to get the word out, because it sounds like there are a lot of women.
Yes, sir.
As y'all described. And it's awful. I will say, look, I'm sitting here switching cameras as I'm sitting here listening. Y'all two are getting married, right?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I think that's a good way to end things, unless I'm forgetting something. But just congratulations on the marriage, all right? And we'll see where all this goes. Because, and I've been saying this is one side of the story, but I think it's pretty damning. And you seem to very much have the goods in writing, and your testimony is very compelling too, at least as far as I'm concerned. But I appreciate you speaking out, Renee. I appreciate you, Mickey, speaking out here on the show as well. And if y'all have any more information, y'all want to get this out to the public, you can always use this space. Always use this platform.
Yes, sir.
So thank y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see where it goes, folks.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at AL.com, it proves that Chip Hill and the mayor have these text messages, because those quotes are from my EEOC, and I have a recording from EEOC who said that they are not allowed to give documents or evidence to any party, let alone a media. Right. So how did AL.com give? Mickey, did you give it to them? I didn't give it to them. So you confirmed every allegation to the world that you are in possession of flirtatious and sexual text messages. What more do you need? If it happened one time or 100 times, it don't matter. It happened. Yeah. He needs to be removed immediately so that more victims feel safe to come out. Do you care about the lives that protect your house 24/7? Or do you protect this monster who you just opened up City of Montgomery to? Let me know. I mean, because you're telling me that these officers that protect your house don't mean nothing.
Well, like I said, it shouldn't have happened. And
have been hearing things about the MPD for a while now, and now a lot of things are starting to make sense. I didn't know it was this bad in your case, but when I see a morale problem, you start to think it starts at the top.
Absolutely. And that's the case.
And it's just, well, again, I appreciate y'all being on.
Yes, sir.
And, well, we got to hit a break here.
Okay.
But more news and views in the afternoon after that.
You may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Who's there? It's Bill, the electrician, here to make your home burglar-proof. Oh, thank goodness. I thought maybe you were an intruder. No, ma'am. I'm a burglar's worst nightmare.
If your house doesn't have sufficient outdoor lighting, it's a prime target for intruders. That's why you should call Crosby Electric today.
How's it going, Bill? Just fine, ma'am. See, when your intruder trips this wire, it grabs him by the foot and hangs him upside down. Really?
The experts at Crosby Electric will install lighting that not only discourages intruders, but also makes it safer for you and your guests to navigate around steps, pools, and other tripping hazards.
Bill, is that contraption safe? Oh, sure. It's disarmed now, but... Bill, like I said, I'm a burglar's worst nightmare. I see. You mind cutting me down, ma'am?
Avoid your worst nightmare. Call the outdoor lighting experts at Crosby Electric or visit crosbyelectric.com.
I'm with Miss Dot at the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall. Dot, you have a big event coming up.
February is the biggest month we've had in years because this is our 30th anniversary, and it will be February the 24th from 9 until 6.
Anything special going to happen that day?
There will be surprises, giveaways. You can use gift certificates on that beautiful mahogany furniture that we've got, and we've got gorgeous mahogany. Some of it is signed to pieces, as a matter of fact. We've got the Tiffany style lamps. We've got chests and beds and tables and chairs, and it's just so much. I can't really get across to you how much we've got.
All right, the date and hours for your big anniversary sale.
February 24th, 9 until 6.
And give us those regular hours of operation.
Monday through Friday is 10 until 6. Saturday 9 to 6, and Sunday is 12:30 to 4:30.
That's the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall, 425 Coliseum Boulevard.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional grade supplies for every industry, even hard to find products. And we have same day pickup and next day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
We've got a pretty acceptable forecast for early February with today's high temperature up to about 64. There should be a good bit of sunshine. Clear skies, chilly tonight, but no freeze. The overnight low temperature down to about 37. We'll be in the low 60s on Wednesday, low to mid 60s on Thursday, and edging closer to 70 on Friday. Still dry weather right on through Friday until perhaps Friday night when some scattered showers come in, and then showers and thunderstorms become more likely over the weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
ASE Credit Union makes auto loans easy with rates as low as 4.75% APR. Apply online or visit your local branch today. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
This is Jacob with Best Pro Services. We are locally owned and operated, and we are proud to be a top 15 small business in the state of Alabama. We specialize in pest, mosquito, and termite control, and we would love to earn your business. Give us a call for a free inspection and estimate. 265-9990, 265-9990. Or you can visit us on the web at ppsriverregion.com or find us on Facebook at Pest Pro Services. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services.
Hi, I'm Brian McMahon with Turf Stalkers. Within a few months of advertising with Blue Water, our customer base doubled. If you're looking for similar results, we highly recommend advertising with Blue Water.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Well, that was fascinating.
Kind of riveting there, Joey.
Yeah, there's more I want to know.
Well, one of the things that kind of caught my attention was, of course, her fiance that was in here, 18 years on the force. That's kind of a shocker. But one of the things that came out, and I didn't catch till the second time she said it, apparently the chief of police and the mayor are cousins.
Yeah.
So there's some nepotism going on down there.
Just a little bit.
That's kind of been a rumor mill for quite some time since the mayor came in.
Well, and if the firing offense is she went and picked up her kids in her patrol car and she claims she got permission, well, that's a hell of a reason.
I've seen that done with
And how many months did it take you to figure out that that was a problem? Man, this does not smell good.
No.
By any means. And what Mickey McDermott said about more women coming out.
Oh, and also the ones that are calling her from Louisiana. That was
right. This isn't just a Montgomery thing.
Right. I mean, and they've got the receipts.
And we've seen these stories before. It ain't full on Harvey Weinstein. At least I hope somebody's not doing that thing to a plant. But you see this, as soon as one person speaks out and has the goods, you get a lot of folks who say, yeah, that happened to me too.
Yep.
And I was just cowed into silence.
Oh.
Well, no, and I get it. People put their head down. They want their career.
Yeah.
They want to, they don't.
Especially you've got that much involved, that much invested.
Yeah.
Right.
And we just didn't get to it, but I want to know why her fiance of 18 years on the force there, why he was.
Yeah, I'd like to know that too.
The official reason, at least. But let's go to Bob. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob. What's up, bud?
This is Don.
Oh, Don, I'm sorry.
Hey, was it Mickey Dermott's choice not to take questions, or did you do the whole hour?
I decided that, Don.
I'm no fan of the mayor or Albert, but there's some fishy stuff going on with this whole thing. One, I'd like to know if the woman ever had consensual sex with Albert. Is Albert so stupid that he's sending texts to these women after he had trouble in New Orleans? Dermott said that he had the stack of texts there. Did he share any with you?
I saw the stack of papers. I didn't read through them, but he had quite a stack of
he
papers.
didn't show them to you, did he?
No, he had them right there. I guess it's free to me to look.
But he didn't show them to you to read. And you bring up the 18-year-old police officer? I would like to ask him. My understanding, he was being fired under Finley.
Yeah, said we have no idea why he's fired. We should ask him.
Yeah, that's why I would have loved to call in, because I have a lot of questions. I personally don't think Albert's so stupid that he'd be texting this woman about getting between her legs. I mean, he's a police chief who had problems. I don't think the guy's clean. I think the whole problem goes to the mayor to bring the guy here, because rightly or wrongly, someone's going to charge they sexually harassed him. But, you got Dermot coming on there like he's a drama queen trying to get an Academy Award with the same old, it's just ridiculous. But there's something fishy about the whole story. I can't believe if the way they told it, the mayor would still have the guy on. Do you?
No, I just don't know, Don.
You think the mayor is that stupid?
He might be protecting his own. I just don't know.
Yeah. But it would have been nice to ask her some questions, like, has she ever dated the guy? Did she have sex with the guy? We didn't get those questions.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah, she said she kept turning them down, but okay.
Oh, I didn't bring her here for the... Got her side of the story. I wasn't going to put her in the Spanish Inquisition.
Hey, Jay Bird. What's up?
How are you today?
All right, how you doing, Jay Bird?
Man, just enjoying y'all's show as usual. I just wanted to chime in my 2 cents on how I feel about the MPD. I'd give it about a year and a half ago. I was a victim of a violent crime. I had a gun put to my head and shot beside my head until I gave them my keys, wallet, and the car got left with. Called the police department. They came out and made a report. Found out several hours later that my credit card was used at a Chevron station. Told them where it was, go look at the cameras if they want to try to catch the guy. Nothing was done. Filed a complaint. Filed a complaint about it. Nothing was done. I called Central Alabama Crime Stoppers. The police department refused to send them a copy of the, with email with a police report on it. So that they didn't want to do nothing about that either. They just want to kind of put that out there, how I feel about them.
Well,
I appreciate the call, Jay Bird.
Appreciate it, Jay Bird.
Yeah, y'all have a great day.
You too, brother.
Let's go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray.
What's happening with you, Ray?
Hey, quick question. How do you spell attorney?
I'm going to go with ATT.
Isn't it $, $?
Hey, I knew that didn't look right. I put 1 T in it. I hate not being able to spell. That's like the worst thing ever. It's probably the best thing ever for me because I'm not on Facebook or anything else, so it keeps me out of a lot of trouble.
That's probably a good idea, Ray.
Yep. It keeps me out of a good bit of trouble. I still stay in trouble, but it's good trouble, right?
That's right.
Hey, let's talk about a couple things. I got a new display in today from Mohawk. Pure Tech.
Yeah?
Pure Tech is the hardest thing they have made to scratch. You can still scratch it. I mean, honestly, you can scratch a diamond if you put your mind to it.
That's right.
Okay, but this floor is absolutely gorgeous. The display's coming in on Thursday, and it's going to be the newest, best thing ever. And we also have our Pet Premier Pet Premier carpet. That carpet it's got a better warranty than the Smart Strand. So if your pet, cat, dogs, whatever, if they ever harm that carpet, besides chewing it up, it's going to be replaced for free.
Oh, wow. Wow. All right,
now,
then.
I've seen many dogs chew up a cat, chew up the doorway.
Oh, yeah.
Put them in the door and they dig out.
Yep.
That's on you guys. The dogs don't want to be in there. Let them out, for Pete's sake. They want to be a part of the family.
This is true.
So that is my 2 bits for today. If y'all need a floor, call us 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement. Next thing you know, you got a floor down.
Again, that number, 285-8117. You got to take them up on these deals, folks. 285-8117. When you call, be sure to tell them you heard Ray on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
Guys, have a great day.
You too, Ray. See you, bro.
Appreciate you, Ray. Let's go to Josh real quick.
Hey, Josh. How you doing, man?
Hey, good. Hey, I'm sorry calling in less in the show, but I just wanted to give a big shout out to Ashley with Test Pro Services.
She's a wonderful person.
They came out. Hey, they came out and helped there's an elderly gentleman that's handicapped that he barely can move around.
Mm-hmm.
I helped him out a lot. They came over there and helped him out with a pest situation he had this morning. The little friends that he had that were hanging around weren't so apparent. So they did a great job, and they're going to do a follow-up. So I just wanted to sing their praises.
Awesome, Josh.
Well, thank you, Josh. Appreciate you telling the audience that.
Great folks over there, Pest Pro. Thank you, Josh.
272-9228. We got time for another call.
All right.
You're on there. Who's this?
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey, Chris.
What's up, Chris?
Hey, I had a question. Was all this stuff being covered up during the election?
I don't know if it's being covered up, but it sure wasn't being put out there.
From my understanding of the timeline, it was right after the election, I think. Or maybe it was filed coterminous, like it was around the same time. But
right, but the activities were going around, going
oh,
on
sure.
during-
Her complaint, I think, was filed in November of last year. So it would have been after the election.
Okay. Well, I mean, does the Alabama Department of Investigation does Aaliyah get involved in this kind of stuff?
I would think at some point you get internal affairs, but I don't know the inner workings, so I can't pretend I do.
I mean, I the whole thing's just gross. I mean, the guy came over, Albert came to the city with a cloud over his head anyways from New Orleans. We were reading about this before he even showed up.
Right.
When he was, so that was a problem, and everybody kind of knew it. And then, if this is all true, there's a lot of people that need to be held to account for either hiding this or trying to hush people up. I mean, that's just terrible. I mean, there's like sexual deviants running our police office. I mean, our police department. That's just really odd that we put up with this kind of stuff around here. I mean, I don't know if we're that desperate for people to be, to lead this police department, but man, this is bad news. And then, like you're saying about the morale thing, that really does go towards the morale issue that people have been talking about for a few years now.
Right. Well, and I feel like we're just scratching the surface here. Again, this is one side of the story, and one story probably among many, and not all the same exact content or misconduct necessarily. But there's a problem, I think, and it goes to the top. I appreciate it, Chris.
Yeah, I'll go.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, something doesn't smell right about all this.
Well, and the fact that other news sources had it, sat on it, that always disturbs me. Not just one, but two. It just tells me that kind of what I've always thought in the back of my mind.
Well, we shall see.
We shall see, brother.
In the fullness of time, as my former boss used to say.
That's right. Good old Danny.
And by the way, happy birthday early, Valentine's Day boy. Dan, if you're out there listening.
That's right. I'm going to reach out to Dan this week.
Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Budell. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.